Aha! And we're live.
You're live.
And
Hear that, Bailey?
we'll just wait and see what happens. I don't know if anyone will. Oh, we got one. We got one.
You gonna help keep Connie honest today, Bailey? Hello, welcome.
Hi, guys. Welcome. Bailey, are you excited for a double chapter read today?
You just gotta get comfy first.
Apparently. I just want to say, first and foremost, that I have not answered any comments this week, and for that, I apologize. It's been kind of a crazy week.
It's been a little crazy.
It's been a little nuts. But I will read them. I will answer them.
But first and foremost, for me, I would like to thank Millennial for sending us these awesome bookmarks.
Oh yeah, see, he got this one, and I got this one. Aren't those? Isn't that nice? Look at that.
It's really nice.
They're very nice.
I feel like it's hand done, but it's so nicely done. I don't even know if it's hand done.
Yeah, they're very pretty. So Mo, thank you. If you're not on yet, at some point, if you watch this, thank you. And the note was very nice as well.
Yes. And also Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. If you haven't read it, that's really washed out.
That is, there you go. Now you can see it. There you go.
It's a really good book. I just started it, but I'm already liking it.
I haven't read anything other than Harry Potter and chemistry.
Oh, nice.
And herpetology.
Very educational, I guess.
Yeah. But I have a lot of books that I want to read. I've got the Dune series that I want to read, and the Cuomo's book.
Hey, Katie, welcome.
Hello. Oh, and I just bought a book on the conservation of Komodo dragons too, so I want to read that as well. So I got a lot of stuff I got to read once school is over.
I was gonna say my backlog of books is pretty high right now. Pretty dense.
I've got the Dune Saga. I've got Cuomo's book. I've got the Komodo dragon book, and I don't know what else. I've probably got a couple other things that I'd like to read.
Any good books you guys are reading other than Harry Potter, of course?
Connie says hello.
Hopefully she behaves herself today. Somewhat.
Yes, she needs to be somewhat of a nice BB today. Otherwise, she's going to have to leave. So today, the two chapters that we are going to read are A Place to Hide. And then after that, oh, maybe I shouldn't tell you what the name of the chapter is until after we read this chapter.
Oh, I gotta wait.
Yeah. Because it might be a spoiler. Yeah, she's enjoying herself on my shoulder at the moment, but I think she's just trying to figure out a way how to get up onto the shelves over there.
How'd she get up before? She's been up there.
I think she just leaped up there. Leapt up there the last time. But there's stuff here now. Can I sit back up, baby girl? There. No, don't go away. You don't have to go away. No, don't go up there. No. Oh my god. No. Oh my god.
I feel like since Connie has come here, we have always had a cringe moment with you whenever we're recording.
I know, because Godzilla and stuff.
Connie has to be in here with us, and she cannot sit still. It's got like restless leg syndrome. She's also very young. How old is she? 2?
She's 2.5. So she's still a baby, which is why she's so feisty. Yeah, she was crawling all over me in the last video. She was relentless.
And those were the parts that I didn't cut out. There were so many scenes I had to cut out because she was just being crazy.
Do you like coffee?
Speaking of crazy, good? Last chapter of Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah.
Auntie Muriel.
Auntie Muriel! Talking about Albus Dumbledore. My cousin Lancelot said.
Right, she just knows everyone.
She's 107. I mean, geez, if I live to be 107, I would hope I know people.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but still. 107, you can't really take what they're saying for truth. Dementia, Alzheimer's.
Fair enough.
Who knows?
She has she has all the tea. She's got it all. The ministry has fallen. Scrimgeour is dead. They are coming.
She's sending a message. She's typing in chat right now. Walking across the keyboard.
She is not typing in the chat, actually. But it would be nice if she would move a little bit. Thank you. She regularly reads Rita Skeeter's column. She knows all the dirt about all the Wizards celebrities and all that stuff.
You mean the facts?
Sorry, alternative facts. Isn't that what they call it?
Alternative facts.
Yeah.
What's alternative facts?
Ask Trump. I don't know.
Hey, we're not getting political here.
He's the one that said that.
Oh, okay.
He says that. I think we're just kind of hanging out to see if anybody else shows up, and then we can start reading. If you guys are all down for that. Oh my God, what are you doing?
I'm not sure I understand.
Yeah, Connie's gonna have to sit this one out.
Sorry. That was
Siri.
Don't say her name again.
What, Siri?
Shh. She turns on when I say Sandy too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What'd you say? Oh, when Sirius.
Yeah.
When we were reading the chapters of Sirius, that every time you said his name, she would come on.
Skeeter horse poop, yet people take it as word.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say that's accurate. So you want to tell everyone what happened to Bailey?
Oh, his run-in with some mysterious insect?
Yes.
Did you ever get a good picture?
Hi, welcome.
Hello, welcome.
I don't know if I have a good... Let me look.
Well, so we might not have a picture of it, but Bailey decided to eat a bug that he should not have, and he blew up like a balloon. It was actually kind of funny. What was the dog I was describing?
I mean...
Yeah, that's pretty...
That was his... That was his face.
You can just post it in Discord.
I'll post the picture so you can see how puffy he got. But he got very puffy and covered in hives, and yeah, it was not a good time for the boy. He likes to eat things. Yes, he does. He likes to eat. They don't know what it was. They said it probably was a bug.
It was like 5 a.m. when this happened. I woke up, I let him out, he came back in, and he just started blowing up. So when I went out to go to the bathroom, he must have nibbled at something that he should not have. I assume he nibbled on it because his mouth was like the first thing to blow up.
His mouth exploded. And then his eyes started to swell shut. Yeah.
It kind of looked like he got a really bad bee sting. But I don't know if it'd be a bee this time of year in New York.
It's been so hot, cold.
Yeah, fair enough. That's true.
I don't know. Could have been a bee. I don't know. Could have, who knows? Yeah, he's all better
He's
now.
much better now.
He's fine now. It's always something with him. If it's not hives, it's I ate a sock, or I don't even know.
He's He's an adventurous eater. Just say that.
Yeah, you could say that, sure. He seems so allergic to things. He is allergic to things, I swear. He's got the most sensitive skin ever. And the vet said that white dogs tend to definitely have skin allergies a lot more than other dogs.
Mhm.
White pit bulls are prone to it. And
he is a pit bull mix, and he's white.
He's mostly white, and he's completely naked on his belly. So.
Yeah, that's true.
You handsome man.
You wouldn't survive too long in the wizarding world with all the different crazy ingredients and stuff.
No. He would do terribly.
I'd bring him to Hogwarts.
Would they let you? They say cat, owl, or toad. They don't say dogs.
I'd do an enchantment and make him look like a cat when I bring him in.
Well, what if he's allergic to that?
Benadryl.
Benadryl.
Wizard Benadryl.
Wizard Benadryl. He seems a little sleepy today.
I'm trying to think what's going to happen.
Oh, trying to predict the next chapter?
Because he said that they're coming. Are they coming to the Weasleys, the Burrow?
Oh.
Like, is it about to, like, get a full-on attack? Did they find a way to break the charms, the spells, the protections?
I don't know. We're going to find out. Only Hagrid has a dog. That's true.
Yeah.
No one else has a dog. Well, just Hagrid.
Well, do we count Sirius?
No.
No. Technically, Harry had a dog. He was just he was a mutt. He was mixed. Part human, part
Canine.
animagus.
Ron brought a rat for 3 years. That's true.
Yeah, they're a little lenient on that, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe you could bring a dog if you wanted to. I don't know. But a cat is so much easier to leave in the common room and not have things happen.
Like what? I mean, they do that kneading thing and all that.
Right.
They're much more destructive than dogs.
But you can fix that with a spell versus a dog like barking all day or crying all day.
Muffliardo.
Woofliardo.
Yeah. Well, that stopped you from hearing it. Went silent you. What was the spell to silence you?
I don't know. Despite Muriel being a pain, the wedding is a good chapter. Very funny.
Oh, absolutely. I love that chapter.
It was good, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was good. What is the point of being an international Quidditch star if all of the good-looking girls are taken? Oh. Silencio. Thank you. It's drawing a blank.
Yes, Silencio.
Dogs are more needy. They'd want to follow their owner to class. That's true. That's what I mean. Like, cats can be on their own without an issue, but the dog would be lonely all day.
That's true.
Unless there were other dogs.
I'd have to get an invisibility cloak for him and just walk him around with me.
Oh my goodness. I feel like this is turning into more work than necessary.
It would be worth it. Who wouldn't want a dog at Hogwarts?
How's Jackson? I miss seeing him. He's
He's good. Him and Connie don't really get along. And when we got Connie, this was the one room where not a lot of the other cats go. Like the only time a cat came in here was Jackson when we were filming. So we put her in here and it's kind of become her room, and Jackson doesn't like to come in as much. So he's still good. He's just, they're still figuring things out. So maybe after he gets used to her, he'll be back.
the cat hierarchy is still being established. She's only been here for a few weeks, so
Mhm.
And she's always in here, so he won't come in here. But I'm sure he'll be back.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll come around.
He really hasn't tried to come in since she's been in here either.
No,
It's not even like she chases him out. He just,
doesn't come in.
he doesn't want anything to do with her.
Well, her smell is all over everything, you know.
That's true.
She's rubbed her pheromones all over everything in here. So, just Bailey. Who is he asleep?
Yes, he is.
What a baby. Should we start?
Yeah, sure. Why
Or
not?
did you want to talk about the last chapter a little bit? Last time in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows.
There was something when I was rewatching it, I caught it was a little thing, but I can't remember now. There was just so much in that chapter. I feel like there's a lot I missed in our conversation. Main thing we talked about was like Dumbledore, but there was a lot.
Yeah, there was a lot. The triangular eye symbol, the connection to Grindelwald. You got to meet Luna's dad.
Mm-hmm.
What's Xenophilius Lovegood wearing? He looks like an omelette. It's my favorite part of the chapter. It is so good. Dumbledore and his family. Ron and Hermione going dancing.
Mm-hmm.
Bill and Fleur being married.
And what a ruined wedding. What timing.
Right.
They didn't even get to go on the honeymoon.
Nope.
And Bill's got to go away and fight the Death Eaters.
Yep. The ministry has fallen. Scrimgeour is dead. They are coming. Some epic shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's an epic way to end a chapter. Just boom. Muriel was one of the highlights of this chapter. Hands down. She was so much fun to read. She's so terrible. That's why she's great. The golden glow from Fleur. Yeah, that actually is good. How they describe Fleur's golden glow and how it made Bill look like he'd never even met Greyback.
Yeah. So it's true. She is beautiful enough for the both of them.
That's right. The way Kingsley says they are coming, it reminds me of the Fellowship in Moria. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, definitely. That's the second kind of nod to Lord of the Rings that we've seen in this book so far.
Is it?
I think the first nod to Lord of the Rings, I think, is when Harry touches the snitch and the writing appears.
Yeah.
Very much like putting the ring in the fire kind of thing. I like how it's you are bonded for life. Yeah, instead of saying now you are married, husband and wife. Nope, now you're bonded together for life.
They should make you take the unbreakable vow at your wedding.
Oh my god, no!
Till death do you part,
Oh,
indeed.
Jeez. I also like it's like a cultural difference. It's just a cultural difference. In the wizarding world, that's what we say.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Luna seeing right through the polyjuice potion. Yeah, that was good too.
Oh yeah.
See, there's so much in this chapter. So much. See, everybody's just like boom, boom, boom.
Oh, and Fred and George mixing up some Velveeta mac and cheese.
Velveeta mac and cheese. You want to try some Velveeta mac and cheese?
Good.
Are you sure?
I'm good.
All right.
Fred and George double dipping. I'm all right.
You don't want to be Eskimo brothers? I always wondered that too. Is he like a wizard priest? And if so,
This brings me back to
What-
my question. Is there a religion in the wizarding world, or do they just go by normal muggle religions? They just happen to be wizards, or do they just not? Are they like atheists?
or is he like a justice of the peace or something? Yeah, I don't know how that. I don't know. I feel like some of it has to do with wizards and muggles interacting with each other before the International Statute of Secrecy. So they must have adopted maybe some customs or whatever. But yeah, I want to know if there's like a faith outside of, say, Christianity or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He must be a wizard priest. They believe in the soul. That's what I mean. There's got to be some kind of. There is obviously a spirituality aspect to the wizarding world.
Right, but is there's spirituality, but is there like a belief in a higher power, an afterlife, I guess, other than being a ghost?
We'll get into the whole afterlife thing at some point in this book. But as far as like a higher power goes, I don't know. The Christmas thing, I mean, I celebrate Christmas. I'm not a religious person. I feel like Christmas is one of those things that's just very secular anymore. Or has become very secular. Not that it's not important to
Yeah.
Christians, but it's yeah, that's not weird to me. That I know. Yeah, Rowling is religious, and you'll see some of this come through in this book. But also, just religion has had such an impact on imagery and literature. It's kind of hard to get away from that.
Well, yeah.
When you're writing, yeah, there's a lot of Christian elements to the books, and one of her favorite writers is C.S. Lewis, who wrote Chronicles of Narnia.
Yep.
And Chronicles of Narnia are heavily Christian, and he was a huge, big-time Christian. So either way, though, I don't feel like celebrating Christmas and not being Christian is a weird thing.
No, I don't think so.
Plus, like I said, pre the International Statute of Secrecy, wizards and muggles interacted with each other all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So there must have been some cross-culture there. And you're right. Anthony Goldstein is a Ravenclaw, and J.K. Rowling came out and said he's a Jew.
Oh.
So I think just like the real world, it's complicated.
I agree. I mean, maybe in the wizarding world, Jesus, maybe they know Jesus wasn't like a son of God. He was just a wizard.
Oh my God. Oh, Jesus Christ. You turned the water into wine. How did you do that? God helped me do it. Hides his wand behind his back.
Minister of Magic just standing behind him. Good answer.
Jesus is a wizard is headcanon now. It makes sense, doesn't it? It's magic. It's a miracle. No, it's magic. Oh, that was great. Adds a whole nother layer to the Hogwarts, the Christian Hogwarts story we read.
Exactly.
I don't know. When magic and religion mix, you get clerics. This is true.
You gonna make it?
I don't know. I'm glad we're not reading a
Gotta
fan
catch your
fiction
breath.
today.
Oh man, I can't wait to get back to fan fiction though.
I know. We'll have to read a good fan fiction.
And now there will be no limits on the fan fiction.
I know. That's why I'm excited to kind of get through the book. Not just to get through the book, but then we can read any Harry Potter fan fiction we want, ever.
And what, the sins of their father, the
The
one
s-
that you've wanted to read
For a
since we
long time.
began
Yes.
reading fan fiction.
Yes, The Sins of the Father. Katie wants me to read it too. She's excited. We'll get there. We'll get there. Should I start?
Yeah, why not?
All right, let's start. I'm going to start this chapter because we're going to read 2. So
I don't know where to go from Jesus Wizard, so
Wizard Jesus. Does that mean that Muhammad was a wizard too? What if they're all
Maybe.
of these huge religious figures were just wizards and witches?
Hmm?
I heard about a fan fiction that's written by an AI. Oh. She says it's supposed to be funny. Like someone fed a bot.
A bunch of fan fictions and then
it
wrote
wrote
its
one.
own. That would be great to read. I'm totally down
Yeah,
for that.
right. I would read that. Maybe we'll have to look into that and read that. That would be good. All right. Shall we? Are you ready? Are you ready?
He just had to get comfy. He's all right.
I
He's good.
I want to make sure he's comfortable before I start. Are you good?
I just saw his face on the screen. It's just so baby right now.
I know he's got baby face. I know. All right, I'm going to pull this a little closer. It's called Harry Potter and the Portrait of What Looked Like a Large Pile of Ash. It's already good. We got to read it. We'll read it. Maybe we'll read it on the next live stream.
Yeah.
If there's no spoilers in it. Chapter 9. A Place to Hide. Everything seemed fuzzy, slow. Harry and Hermione jumped to their feet and drew their wands. Many people were only just realizing that something strange had happened. Heads were still turning toward the silver cat as it vanished. Silence spread outward and cold ripples from the place where the Patronus had landed. Then somebody screamed. Harry and Hermione threw themselves into the panicking crowd. Guests were sprinting in all directions. Many were disapparating. Their protective enchantments around the burrow had broken. "Ron!" Hermione cried. "Ron, where are you?" As they pushed their way across the dance floor, Harry saw cloaked and masked figures appearing in the crowd. Then he saw Lupin and Tonks, their wands raised, and heard both of them shout, "Protego!" a cry that was echoed on all sides. "Ron! Ron!" Hermione called, half sobbing as she and Harry were buffeted by terrified guests. Harry seized her hand to make sure they weren't separated as a streak of light whizzed over their heads. Whether a protective charm or something more sinister, he did not know. And then Ron was there. He caught hold of Hermione's free arm, and Harry felt her turn on the spot. Sight and sound were extinguished as darkness pressed in upon him. All he could do was feel Hermione's hand as he squeezed through space and time, away from the burrow, away from the descending Death Eaters, away, perhaps, from Voldemort himself. "Where are we?" said Ron's voice. Harry opened his eyes. For a moment he thought they'd not left the wedding at all. They still seemed to be surrounded by people. "Tottenham Court Road," panted Hermione. "Walk, just walk. We need to find somewhere for you to change." Harry did as she asked. They half walked, half ran up the wide dark street, thronged with late-night revellers and lined with closed shops, stars twinkling above them. A double-decker bus rumbled by and a group of merry pub-goers ogled them as they passed. Harry and Ron were still wearing dress robes. "Hermione, we haven't got anything to change into," Ron told her as a young woman burst into raucous giggles at the sight of him. "Why didn't I make sure I took the invisibility cloak with me?" said Harry, inwardly cursing his own stupidity. "All last year I kept it on me and—" "It's okay. I've got the cloak. I've got clothes for both of you," said Hermione. "Just try and act naturally until— This'll do." She led them down a side street. Then into the shelter of a shadowy alleyway. "When you say you've got the cloak and clothes," said Harry, frowning at Hermione, who was still carrying nothing except her small beaded bag in which she was now rummaging. "Yes, they're in here," said Hermione, and to Harry and Ron's utter astonishment, she pulled out a pair of jeans, a sweatshirt, some maroon socks, and finally the silvery invisibility cloak. "How the ruddy hell—" "Undetectable extension charm," said Hermione. "Tricky, but I think I've done it okay. Anyway, I managed to fit everything we need in here." She gave the fragile-looking bag a little shake, and it echoed like a cargo hold as a number of heavy objects rolled round inside it. "Oh, damn, that'll be the books," she said, peering into it. "And I had them all stacked by subject. Oh, well. Harry, you'd better take the invisibility cloak. Ron, hurry up and change." "When did you do all this?" Harry asked as Ron stripped off his robes. "I told you at the Burrow I've had the essentials packed for days. You know, in case we needed to make a quick getaway. I packed your rucksack this morning, Harry, after you changed, and put it in here. I just had a feeling." "You're amazing, you are," said Ron, handing her his bundled-up robes. "Thank you," said Hermione, managing a small smile as she pushed the robes into the bag. "Please, Harry, get the cloak on." Harry threw the invisibility cloak round his shoulders and pulled it up over his head, vanishing from sight. He was only just beginning to appreciate what had happened. "The others, everyone at the wedding." "We can't worry about that now," whispered Hermione. "It's you they're after, Harry, and we'll just put everyone in more danger by going back." "She's right," said Ron, who seemed to know that Harry was about to argue, even though he couldn't see his face. "Most of the order was there. They'll look after everyone." Harry nodded, then remembered that they could not see him and said, "Yeah," but he thought of Ginny, and fear bubbled like acid in his stomach. "Come on, I think we ought to keep moving," said Hermione. They moved back up the side street and onto the main road again, where a group of men on the opposite side was singing and waving across the pavement. "Just as a matter of interest, why Tottenham Court Road?" Ron asked Hermione. "I've no idea, it just popped into my head, but I'm sure we're safer out here in the Muggle world. It's not where they'd expect us to be." "True," said Ron, looking round, "but don't you feel a bit exposed?" "Where else is there?" said Hermione, cringing as the men on the other side of the road started wolf-whistling at her. "We can hardly book rooms at the Leaky Cauldron, can we? And Grimmauld Place is out if Snape can get in there. I suppose we might try my parents' house, though I think there's a chance they might check there. Oh, I wish they'd shut up." "All right, darling," the drunkest of the men on the other side of the pavement was yelling. "Fancy a drink? Ditch Ginger and come have a pint." "Let's sit down somewhere," said Hermione hastily as Ron opened up his mouth to shout back across the road. "Look, this'll do, in here." It was a small and shabby all-night cafe. A light layer of grease lay on all the formica-top tables, but it was at least empty. Harry slipped into a booth first, and Ron sat next to him opposite Hermione, who had her back to the entrance and did not like it. She glanced over her shoulders so frequently she appeared to have had a twitch. Harry did not like being stationary. Walking around had given the illusion that they'd had a goal. Beneath the cloak he could feel the last vestiges of polyjuice leaving him, his hands returning to their usual length and shape. He pulled his glasses out of his pocket and put them on again. After a minute or two, Ron said, "You know, we're not far from the Leaky Cauldron here. It's only in Charing Cross." "Ron, we can't," said Hermione at once. "Not to stay there, but to find out what's going on." "We know what's going on. Voldemort's taken over the Ministry. What else do we need to know?" Okay, it was just an idea." They relapsed into a prickly silence. The gum-chewing waitress shuffled over and Hermione ordered 2 cappuccinos. As Harry was invisible, it would have looked rather odd to order him one. A pair of burly workmen entered the cafe and squeezed into the next booth. Hermione dropped her voice to a whisper. "I say we find a quiet place to disapparate and head for the countryside. Once we're there, we could send a message to the Order." "Can you do that talking Patronus thing, then?" asked Ron. "I've been practicing, and I think so," said Hermione. "Well, as long as it doesn't get them into trouble, though they might have been arrested already." "God, that's revolting," Ron added after one sip of the foamy, greyish coffee. The waitress had heard. She shot Ron a nasty look as she shuffled off to make the new customers' orders. The larger of the two workmen, who was blonde and quite huge, now that Harry came to look at him, waved her away. She stared, affronted. "Let's get going then. I don't want to drink this muck," said Ron. "Hermione, have you got Muggle money to pay for this?" "Yes, I took out all my building society savings before I came to the Burrow. I bet all the change is at the bottom," sighed Hermione, reaching for her beaded bag. The two workmen made identical movements, and Harry mirrored them without conscious thought. All three of them drew their wands. Ron, a few seconds late and realizing what was going on, lunged across the table, pushing Hermione sideways onto a bench. The force of the Death Eater's spells shattered the tilted wall where Ron's head had just been, as Harry, still invisible, yelled, "Stupefy!" The great blonde Death Eater was hit in the face by a jet of red light. He slumped sideways, unconscious. His companion, unable to see who'd cast the spell, fired another at Ron. Shining black ropes flew from his wand tip and bound Ron head to foot. The waitress screamed and ran for the door. Harry sent another stunning spell at the Death Eater with the twisted face who'd tied up Ron, but the spell missed, rebounded on the window, and hit the waitress, who collapsed in front of the door. "Expulso!" bellowed the Death Eater, and the table behind which Harry was standing blew up. The force of the explosion slammed him into the wall, and he felt his wand leave his hand as the cloak slipped off him. "Petrificus totalis!" screamed Hermione from out of sight, and the Death Eater fell forward like a statue to land with a crunching thud on the mess of broken china, table, and coffee. Hermione crawled out from beneath the bench, shaking bits of glassy ashtray out of her hair and trembling all over. "Diffindo!" she said, pointing her wand at Ron, who roared in pain as she slashed open the knee of his jeans, leaving a deep cut. "Oh, I'm so sorry, Ron. My hand's shaking. Diffindo!" The severed ropes fell away. Ron got to his feet, shaking his arms to regain feeling in them. Harry picked up his wand and climbed all over the debris where the large blonde Death Eater was sprawled across the bench. "I should have recognized him. He was there the night Dumbledore died," he said. He turned over the darker Death Eater with his foot. The man's eyes moved rapidly between Harry, Ron, and Hermione. "That's Dolohov," said Ron. "I recognize him from the old wanted posters. I think the big one's Thorfinn Rowell." "Never mind what they're called," said Hermione a little hysterically. "How did they find us? What are we going to do?" Somehow her panic seemed to clear Harry's head. "Lock the door," he told her. "And Ron, turn out the lights." He looked down at the paralyzed Dolohov, thinking fast as the lock clicked and Ron used the deluminator to plunge the cafe into darkness. Harry could hear the men who jeered at Hermione earlier, yelling at another girl in the distance. "What are we going to do with them?" Ron whispered to Harry through the dark. Then, even more quietly, he said, "Kill them? They'd kill us. They had a good go just now." Hermione shuddered and took a step backward. Harry shook his head. "We just need to wipe their memories," said Harry. "It's better like that. It'll throw them off the scent. If we killed them, it'd be obvious we were here." "You're the boss," said Ron, sounding profoundly relieved. "But I've never done a memory charm." "Nor have I," said Hermione. "But I know the theory." She took a deep, calming breath, then pointed her wand at Dolohov's forehead and said, "Obliviate." At once, Dolohov's eyes became unfocused and dreamy. "Brilliant," said Harry, clapping her on the back. "Take care of the other one and the waitress while Ron and I clear up." "Clear up?" said Ron, looking around at the partly destroyed cafe. "Why?" "Don't you think they might wonder what's happened if they wake up and find themselves in a place that looks like it's just been bombed?" "Oh, right. Yeah." Ron struggled for a moment before managing to extract his wand from his pocket. "It's no wonder I can't get it out, Hermione. You packed my old jeans. They're tight." "Oh, I'm so sorry," hissed Hermione, and as she dragged the waitress out of sight of the windows, Harry heard her mutter a suggestion as to where Ron could stick his wand instead. Once the cafe was restored to its previous condition, they heaved the Death Eaters back into their booth and propped them up facing each other. "How did they find us, though?" Hermione asked, looking from one inert man to the other. "How did they know where we were?" She turned to Harry. You don't think you've still got your trace on you, do you, Harry?" "He can't have," said Ron. "The trace breaks at 17. That's wizarding law. You can't put it on an adult." "As far as you know," said Hermione. "What if the Death Eaters have found a way to put it on a 17-year-old?" But Harry hasn't been near a Death Eater in the last 24 hours. Who's supposed to have put a trace back on him? Hermione didn't reply. Harry felt contaminated, tainted. Was that really how the Death Eaters had found them? If I can't use magic, and you can't use magic near me, without us giving away our position, he began. We're not splitting up, said Hermione firmly. We need a safe place to hide, said Ron. Give us time to think things through. Grimmauld Place, said Harry. The other two gaped. Don't be silly, Harry. Snape can get in there. Ron's dad said they put up jinxes against him, and even if they haven't worked, he pressed on as Hermione began to argue. So what? I swear I'd like nothing better than to meet Snape. But, Hermione, where else is there? It's the best chance we've got. Snape's only one Death Eater. If I've still got the trace on me, we'll have whole crowds of them on us wherever we go. She could not argue, though she looked as though she would have liked to. When she unlocked the cafe door, Ron clicked the illuminator to release the cafe's light. Then, on Harry's count of 3, they reversed the spells upon their 3 victims, and before the waitress or either of the Death Eaters could do more than stir sleepily, Harry, Ron, and Hermione had turned on the spot and vanished into the compressing darkness once more. Seconds later, Harry's lungs expanded gratefully and he opened his eyes. They were now standing in the middle of a familiar, small and shabby square. Tall, dilapidated houses looked down on them from every side. Number 12 was visible to them, for they had been told of its existence by Dumbledore, its secret keeper, and they rushed toward it, checking every few yards that they were not being followed or observed. They raced up the stone steps, and Harry tapped the front door twice with his wand. They heard a series of metallic clicks and the clatter of a chain. Then the door swung open with a creak, and they hurried over the threshold. As Harry closed the door behind them, the old-fashioned gas lamp sprang into life, casting flickering light along the length of the hallway. It looked just as Harry remembered it, eerie, cobwebbed, the outlines of the house elves' heads on the walls throwing odd shadows up on the staircase. Long, dark curtains concealed the portrait of Sirius's mother. The only thing that was out of place was the troll's leg umbrella stand, which was lying on its side as if Tonks had just knocked it back over. I think someone's been in here, Hermione whispered, pointing toward it. That could have just happened as the order left, Ron murmured back. So where are these jinxes they put up against Snape? Harry asked. Maybe they're only activated as he shows up? Maybe they're only activated if he shows up, suggested Ron. Yet they remained close together on the doormat, backs against the door, scared to move further into the house. Well, we can't stay here forever, said Harry, and he took a step forward. Severus Snape? Mad-Eye Moody's voice whispered out of the darkness, making all 3 of them jump back in fright. We're not Snape, croaked Harry, before something whooshed over him like cold air and his tongue curled back on itself, making it impossible to speak. Before he had time to feel inside his mouth, however, his tongue had unraveled again. The other 2 seemed to have experienced this same unpleasant sensation. Ron was making retching noises. Hermione stammered, That must have been the tongue-tying curse Mad-Eye set for Snape. Gingerly, Harry took another step forward. Something shifted in the shadows at the end of the hall, and before either of them could say another word, a figure had risen up out of the carpet, tall, dust-coloured, and terrible. Hermione screamed, and so did Mrs. Black, her curtains flying open. The grey figure was gliding toward them, faster and faster, its waist-length hair and beard streaming behind it, its face sunken, fleshless, with empty eye sockets. Horribly familiar, dreadfully altered, it raised a wasted arm, pointing at Harry. No! Harry shouted, and though he raised his wand, no spell occurred to him. No! It wasn't us! We didn't kill you! On the word kill, the figure exploded in a great cloud of dust. Coughing, his eyes watering, Harry looked round to see Hermione crouched on the floor by the door with her arms over her head, and Ron, who was shaking from head to foot, patting her clumsily on the shoulder and saying, It's all right. It's gone. Dust swirled around Harry like mist, catching the blue gaslight as Mrs. Black continued to scream. Mud bloods! Filth! Stains of dishonour! Taint of shame on the house of my fathers! Shut up! Harry bellowed, directing his wand at her, and with a bang and a burst of red sparks, the curtain swung shut again, silencing her. That was Hermione whimpered as Ron helped her to her feet. Yeah, said Harry. But it wasn't really him, was it? Just something to scare Snape. Had it worked? Harry wondered. Or had Snape already blasted the horror figure aside as casually as he had killed the real Dumbledore? Nerves still tingling, he led the other two up the hall, half expecting some new terror to reveal itself, but nothing moved except for a mouse skittering along the skirting board. Before we go any farther, I think I'd better check, whispered Hermione, and she raised her wand and said, Hominum revelio. Nothing happened. Well, you've just had a big shock, said Ron kindly. What was that supposed to do? It did what I meant it to do, said Hermione crossly. That was a spell to reveal human presence, and there's nobody here except us. And old Dusty, said Ron, glancing at the patch of carpet from which the corpse figure had risen. Let's go up, said Hermione with a frightened look at the same spot, and she led the way up the creaking stairs to the drawing room on the first floor. Hermione waved her wand to ignite the old gas lamps, then, shivering slightly in the draughty room, she perched on the sofa, her arms wrapped tightly round her. Ron crossed to the window and moved the heavy velvet curtain aside an inch. Can't see anyone out there, he reported, and you'd think if Harry still had a trace on him, they'd have followed us here. I know they can't get in the house, but what's up, Harry? Harry had given a cry of pain. His scar had burned again as something flashed across his mind like a bright light on water. He saw a large figure and felt a fury that was not his own pound through his body, violent and brief as an electric shock. What did you see? Ron asked, advancing on Harry. Did you see him at my place? No, I felt anger. He's really angry. But that could be at the burrow, said Ron loudly. What else? Didn't you see anything? Was he cursing someone? No, I just felt anger. I couldn't tell. Harry felt badgered, confused, and Hermione did not help as she said in a frightened voice, Your scar again? But what's going on? I thought that connection had closed. It did for a while, muttered Harry. His scar was still painful, which made it hard to concentrate. I think it started opening again whenever he loses control. That's how it used to... But you've got to close your mind, said Hermione shrilly. Harry, Dumbledore didn't want you to use that connection. He wanted you to shut it down. That's why you were supposed to use occlumency. Otherwise, Voldemort can plant false images in your mind, remember? Yeah, I remember, thanks, said Harry through gritted teeth. He did not need Hermione to tell him that Voldemort had once used this self-same connection between them to lead him into a trap, nor that it had resulted in Sirius's death. He wished that he had not told them what he'd seen and felt. It made Voldemort more threatening, as though he were pressing against the window of the room, and still the pain in his scar was building and he fought it. It was like resisting the urge to be sick. He turned his back on Ron and Hermione, pretending to examine the old tapestry of the Black family tree on the wall. Then Hermione shrieked. Harry drew his wand again and spun to see a silver Patronus soar through the drawing room and land upon the floor in front of them, where it solidified into the weasel that spoke with the voice of Ron's father. Family safe. Do not reply. We are being watched. The Patronus dissolved into nothingness. Ron let out a noise between a whimper and a groan and dropped into the sofa. Hermione joined him, gripping his arm. They're all right. They're all right, she whispered, and Ron half laughed and hugged her. Harry, he said over Hermione's shoulder. It's not a problem, said Harry, sickened by the pain in his head. It's your family. Of course you're worried. I'd feel the same way. He thought of Ginny. I do feel the same way. The pain in his scar was reaching a peak, burning as it had done in the garden of the burrow. Faintly he heard Hermione say, I don't want to be on my own. Could we use the sleeping bags I've brought and camp in here tonight? He heard Ron agree. He could not fight the pain much longer. He had to succumb. Bathroom, he muttered, and he left the room as fast as he could without running. He barely made it. Bolting the door behind him with trembling hands, he grasped the pounding in his head and fell to the floor. Then in an explosion of agony, he felt the rage that did not belong to him possess his soul. He saw a long room lit only by firelight, and the great blonde Death Eater on the floor, screaming and writhing, and a slighter figure standing over him wand outstretched while Harry spoke in a high, cold, merciless voice. Moral? Or shall we end it and feed you to Nagini? Lord Voldemort is not sure he will forgive this time. You called me back for this. To tell me that Harry Potter has escaped again? Draco, give Rowell another taste of our displeasure. Do it, or feel my wrath yourself. A log fell in the fire. Flames reared, their light darting across a terrified, pointed white face. With a sense of emerging from deep water, Harry drew heaving breaths and opened his eyes. He was spread-eagled on the cold black marble floor, his nose inches from one of the silver serpent tails that supported the large bathtub. He sat up. Malfoy's gaunt, petrified face seemed branded on the insides of his eyes. Harry felt sickened by what he'd seen, by the use to which Draco was now being put by Voldemort. There was a sharp rap on the door, and Harry jumped as Hermione's voice rang out. Harry, do you want your toothbrush? I've got it here. Yeah, great, thanks, he said, fighting to keep his voice casual as he stood up to let her in.
I think it's funny how Voldemort is so conceited that he always refers to himself in the third person.
Of course. Would it be any other way? Lord Voldemort. Come on.
Lord Voldemort does not appreciate that.
The Boulder feels conflicted about fighting a little girl.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Oh, God. It's just...
Hello, Grey's Magic.
Hello and welcome.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. Just with Voldemort, it's always a show. It's always got to make sure everyone knows I'm Voldemort.
Yeah, that's part of what I love about him. He's got style.
Dumbledore had style.
Voldemort has style too. You just don't like it as much.
Yeah.
Hermione can be really annoying sometimes. Can she not understand Harry can't control the visions, and Snape never really showed him how to do it?
Very true.
Yeah, but Harry was also not completely 100% up front about how it all went down with occlumency. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Like, he didn't tell her, like, yo, Snape didn't really teach me anything.
Snape taught him by throwing him in the pool. And Harry just happened to drown this time.
And Katie is actually bringing up a good point. Hermione's terrified that Voldemort will plant a false memory again.
Yeah.
Because he did it the last time. And the last time Hermione was like, I think this is a false memory. I think you need to be sure.
Yeah,
Like,
Hermione called it last time.
So Hermione called it last time. She went with Harry anyway. So she's just on edge. But yeah.
She doesn't. Now it's like her family at risk. She's like, no.
But at the same time, yeah, she doesn't really understand how difficult it is for Harry either. Like,
it's like, yeah, let me just close my mind off again against the world's best occlumens. Legilimens.
Yeah, let me close my mind to the world's best legilimens. Also, I can totally control that when I'm asleep.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think they found him?
I don't know.
He's got some hives.
I don't think it any worse looking than Benadryl.
Yeah, they don't look bad right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, can Voldemort sense where he is because of the scar? Like, is he using occlumency to see what Harry sees?
Legilimency.
Okay, legitimacy to see what Harry sees, like Harry sees what Voldemort sees.
I don't know. I can't tell you.
Fine.
I love that
Yeah.
Ron asks, like, are we gonna kill him? They would kill us. Like they were right on the threshold of
Right? Harry, or not Harry, Ron was like, I feel like Ron was kind of down for it. Like he was just.
I think Ron would have done whatever Harry decided to do, but I think Ron in that moment was like, are we gonna do this? Are we gonna kill people? Like
Ron, no, we're not.
no, we're not.
Okay, I just mean we can. We don't want him going back.
Not gonna lie, I feel didn't it say Ron said it was relieved? He was Ron
Yeah.
sounded relieved. Oh yeah, Ron was probably scared. I think they were all scared.
Yeah, I
Like
think so.
that was like boom, they're coming, boom, they escape, boom, they show up and they have a fight. Like ugh. He didn't want to kill, but
15
thought it
minutes.
might be the only way.
Like they were just enjoying a wedding. And then bam.
Yeah. That's war, I guess, isn't it?
It's like Thanksgiving going great, then that one drunk uncle shows up. You know what uncle I mean. Everyone has them. Or aunt.
What else? I was gonna say something else.
I don't know.
I don't remember. Either way, the Death Eaters are certainly being punished.
Mm-hmm.
So,
with the rate that they're getting punished, Voldemort is going to take out more Death Eaters than Harry and Ron and Hermione ever do.
I feel bad for Draco.
Yeah.
I feel bad for him. I do. I don't know if you do, but I feel bad for him.
To a degree, but not really.
I feel bad for him.
Like I said, I do feel a little bit bad for him, but not fully. I don't know.
That's fair. I feel like Draco grew up and was indoctrinated into this way of life. So he
suffering the sins of his father.
Yes.
Literally,
and now he's stuck, and he knows that this is real and this is bad and people are getting hurt. And I think deep down, like, Draco's not an evil guy. He's a spoiled, rotten bully, but I don't think he's an evil guy. And I think he's way in over his head, and I think he's scared shitless, and I think he's got to do what the Dark Lord says, or he's gonna die.
Yeah, you're in too deep now. You're the Dark Lord's right-hand man.
Would Draco even be able to do it if his heart wasn't in it?
That's true. You can't.
You gotta mean it, right?
Yeah.
Well,
we haven't seen him do any of the unforgivable curses yet, have we? I mean, it implied that he was going to, but
we haven't seen him do them. But maybe he'd be able to perform under pressure. Like, maybe he would be able to do it if
I want to do this more than I want to die
Yeah.
type thing.
Or, Voldemort's like, if you don't do this to Dolohov, I will do this to your mother. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
maybe he would be able to do it under that kind of threat. Or you do it to Dolohov or I do it to you.
Mm.
Kind of thing. I think then maybe he'd be able to do it.
Or his dad.
Or his dad.
I mean, his dad is like Voldemort's little whipping boy right now.
Yeah. Man has no wand.
De-wanded the man.
Seems like you are a happy couple.
Yeah, she's all right.
Yeah, he's whatever. I'm in it for, I stay for the boy who has another bump on his head, and he's got some on his belly, and then he's got some on his leg too.
Oh dear.
He's breaking out.
Well, maybe before the next chapter, I'll give him some medicine.
Yeah. See, the man's is breaking out in hives again.
Never a moment's respite.
Oh.
Well, I'll do that. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
And then we'll start the next chapter, which is...
We're going to read the next chapter, and I love the next chapter. I am so excited for the next chapter.
What is it? Tell me.
It's called Creature's Tale.
Oh, God. Oh, is Dobby back?
It's called Creature's Tale.
I know, but is his tale, like...
Involved
about
Dobby?
what's been going on at Hogwarts? Like, are we going to see everyone?
Go give Bailey a Benadryl and we'll find out, won't we? Yeah, the coughing is a symptom too. He gets a little coughy when he gets his hives. Poor delicate boy. That's why Bailey can't go to Hogwarts. He's too delicate. I love this chapter though. I'm so excited to read this chapter. It's so good. Breaks my heart a little bit, but oh, this is just such a good chapter. This last one, A Place to Hide, like it was good. It was all right, it's a good one. I don't know. It was all right. I don't even. I'm just pilfering through the book a little bit, and I don't even know. There's just so much. I'm so excited to read this book. I'm just so excited. It's gonna. It's so much good stuff. It was a necessary chapter to get them where they are. Yeah, you kind of gotta get them. You gotta bring them from the Burrow to Grimmauld Place, and you gotta have that transition. And I get that. That was just this last chapter was just a setup for this epic and awesome chapter that we're about to read. That I'm super excited about. So far, 3 named characters are dead: Hedwig, Moody, and Scrimgeour. It's true. We were getting a character.
They don't name it Deathly for nothing.
We got a character a book the last few books, and now we've got 3 characters, and we're not even a third of the way through the book.
The books were, it was supposed to be like a 12-part series, but she had to cut it down, so she had to kill them all off at once.
We should do a tally. Oh, 3 down. How many more to go? Are you should we just leap in? You got anything else to say about this chapter, A Place to Hide?
Not really. It wasn't that deep. I mean, it was just them escaping.
It was like, I think it was like Katie said, it's a transition chapter to get them from the burrow to Grimald Place.
Yeah.
Have we had any guesses about what the Deathly Hallows is, are, what? No, we haven't discussed what Deathly Hallows means.
I haven't thought too much about it. I don't know why I'm thinking, is there some secret wizarding crypt in the graveyard where his parents are buried?
I'm not going to tell you if you're right about any of this. So just going to say, oh, that's an interesting idea.
Okay, well, I guess that's my idea.
Oh, okay.
Because we keep talking about the place where, I can't remember the name of it, but where his parents are buried.
Godric's Hollow.
Godric's Hollow. There you go. Deathly Hollows. Godric's
No,
Hollow.
this is Hallows. Godric's Hollow.
Close enough.
No, they don't mean
it was
the
a
same,
typo.
They don't mean
it was
the
just a
same
typo,
thing.
and she had to roll with it. I wonder if that's how Avada Kedavra came about. Was she trying to spell abracadabra and just like accidentally hit the V?
Ha ha ha. Katie says, what does Hallows mean? That's a good place to start.
That's true.
What does Hallows mean?
You know, I really don't know.
All right. Well, according to One Letter Makes Such a Difference. Yes, it does. I'll give you the definition. Hallow, as in like hallowed ground. Hallow is to make something holy or sacred or divine.
Which is kind of where I was going with the whole they're buried there. That's what I'm thinking, like, is there some sort of like crypt or something underneath, and the spiritual place of the wizards, throwing it back to
the religion thing we were talking
Wizard
about before.
Jesus.
Wizard Jesus. Abracadabra. I think it originally means to kill the thing. Interesting. Didn't know that.
Wait, what was that?
Talking about abracadabra.
Ah, so see, it could have been just a typo. And she was like, you know what? It kind of sounds cool. Keeping it. I love that with like writers and stuff. If you have like certain things or expressions in the book and you're like, oh, they must have thought about that for forever. And then it turns out it was just
an accident.
Yeah. Actually, I misspelt it and I didn't catch it. My editor didn't catch it. But everyone loved it. So I rolled with it.
Yeah, okay. Avada Kedavra. That's what she's talking about. It
okay.
used to mean kill the thing. Yeah. Either way, hallow means to make something sacred or divine. So the Deathly Hallows.
Divine death.
Sacred death.
Sacred death. All right. Good morning, Joey.
Welcome. We just read chapter 9. But we're about to read chapter 10. So you will be here for Creature's Tale. I'm so excited. Such a good chapter. So good. It's
going to be interesting to see Creature again. So do we learn why he is the way he is?
Yes.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it was like what happened to Creature after he went to Hogwarts. If he's been up to anything.
This is going to answer a lot of questions about Creature for you.
Oh, okay.
And yes, a big question is about to be answered as well. This is a key chapter.
Oh. Are we going to find out what the Deathly Hallows is?
No. No. not yet. Yeah, this is a pivotal chapter. This is a big one for the story. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You ready for this?
Is Creature actually like Sirius's son?
Ew, no. Ew. Creature is like probably 3 times as old as Sirius.
Look, they've done weirder things in the Black family.
Yeah, okay. No.
There's a lot of incest going on, and
No one.
we still don't know what Dumbledore's brother did to that goat.
Talk about the
So-
goat. We don't have to, why do we have to bring up the goat? No, we're not going there. No, we don't know. We don't need to know what Aberforth did with the goat.
I could come up with a theory.
Yes, but we'll never know. Unless you find him and you can ask him what you did with the goat.
I mean, I know it was very bad.
Katie's like, I think we know what happened. We need to talk about
Yeah.
the goat. Actually, Shannon on Discord gave me a pretty good explanation of what happened with the goat. But I can't talk about it because it's spoiler-ish.
Oh, so the goat actually ties into the story?
No, not into
Oh.
the story, but it's brought up every single time he's mentioned. No, every time it's always
Was Aberforth making a Horcrux?
no.
Okay.
Super Carlin Brothers have a good video about the goat situation.
See, it's a topic of discussion. I'm not the only one who wonders this.
Oh, Katie says that Rowling said it had something to do with increasing the length of their horns.
Right. Are we talking about the goat's horns?
I'm almost 100% positive I know. This is what this person did. Sure. We could probably do an entire live stream just about the goat.
Maybe
Incident.
we should. Forget the next chapter. We need to figure this out now.
We can't without spoilers. We can't get
All right.
into it yet. We'll talk about the goat later when we have more book information.
First live stream after we finish the book.
We're talking about the
The
goat.
goat.
Okay.
We're getting to the bottom of this.
That's fine. We can go on to let's finish the book first, and then we can discuss the goat to the fullest extent, and even maybe probably explore some fan fiction about the subject.
Oh God, there is probably a fan fiction that
About
tells
the
us.
goat. About what happened.
That makes me sad.
Okay. Here we go.
You think the Sorting Hat was involved?
Oh my god, I was just calming myself down to read the chapter.
All right, I'm done. We can read now.
Goats were definitely harmed in the making of this story. Oh. I really like goats too.
So did Aberforth.
Sorry, I'm trying to calm down.
Just breathe
Oh,
with
but
deep breaths.
I don't even know why, but I just thought of Goatsy.
Just clear your mind.
Wait. Goats eat everything. Sorry. Katie. Oh my God. Joey Rue says he has a goat story. Okay, tell your goat story before we read the chapter. Go ahead.
Oh, give you a chance to calm down.
One time when me and my brother were small, we went to a petting zoo. I love to feed the goats.
I do too. So does Ramona, actually.
Ramona really likes to feed
Oh
the
God,
goats.
is this gonna traumatize?
I don't know. And a goat shit all Oh, that's great. Like liquid shit.
Oh. I was about to say, at least they're like little balls, but no.
Oh, that's terrible. I know. At first, I thought, well, it's just like a bunch of pebbles, but oh God. I'll be telling this story at his wedding. You are obligated to tell that story at his wedding.
You would not be doing your part if you didn't tell that story.
Yeah, right. That's what brothers are for, is to tell that story. YouTube is hiding the comments. I couldn't see the poop comment unless I clicked all the chat. I can't see the comments either, but glad you're reading them back.
What? That's weird.
Yeah, that's weird. I wonder why it's doing that. And I don't know how to fix that either, so...
Yeah, I don't know. We'll try to fix that for the next one.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
Maybe they updated it so it like blocks certain phrases.
Yeah, right, the live chat.
It never did it before.
I wonder what's... Ooh. The poop comment wasn't considered a top comment.
I considered it a top comment.
Oh, okay. So if it's top chat, it doesn't show everything. If you switch to live chat, it shows you everything. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So you guys are good? It's nothing fucky on our end? I didn't know. I don't know. I'm just on the thing talking.
Yeah,
I don't know. Just turn the thing on and I'd start to speak. I don't know.
Well, we never had the problem before, so I thought maybe YouTube updated to their
feature or whatever.
Yeah. Block certain phrases or something like that.
Katie agrees. It's definitely a top tier comment.
Yes.
Anything involving poop is quality content.
Agreed.
I hope your brother isn't too traumatized. Maybe Aberforth can help him with that. Overcome his goat trauma.
Aberforth. And why was that a problem for you?
Oh, God. All right, are you ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right.
All right.
I'm ready.
What is wizard therapy? Yep, there she goes. Katie Aberforth would know all about that. There is no wizard therapy, right?
Didn't we have this conversation? Because
we talked about it with Cho Chang.
Yeah.
How there's obviously no wizard therapy because she was a hot mess over her boyfriend, and
I wonder if there are therapists though. Like, can you go to a wizard therapist and they just like remove traumatizing memories for you so you can live a normal life? Just walk in, like you have different levels. Like, you know.
They don't
So-
believe in therapy.
Oh. You just deal with your trauma. Suck it up.
Yeah. Suck it up. They think magic just solves everything. I mean, they're not right, but I get the logic of that.
It makes things a lot easier.
Yes.
There's a job to start, though. Start your first wizarding therapist.
Right?
You can have like levels that you pay for, more expensive as it goes down, from like just blurring a memory to straight up obliviating your entire like
So from
life.
like Slughorn to Lockhart
Yes.
and everything in between.
Yes.
House elves as therapists. Dr. Dobby.
I think Dobby would be good at running his own AA meetings.
Yeah. I mean, he's had a lot of experience.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine Creature as a therapist? Well, Creature thinks that your problem is that you're a filthy mudblood. There's no help for you, my mistress says. Okay.
All right.
Speaking of house elves, let's read this chapter.
Yes. Speaking of creatures, Tales of Therapy.
Chapter 10. Creature's Tale. Harry woke early next morning, wrapped in a sleeping bag on the drawing room floor. A chink of sky was visible between the heavy curtains. It was the cool, clear blue of watered ink. Somewhere between night and dawn, and everything was quiet except for Ron and Hermione's low, slow, deep breathing. Harry glanced over at the dark shapes they made on the floor beside him. Ron had had a fit of gallantry and insisted that Hermione sleep on the cushions from the sofa so that her silhouette was raised above his. Her arm curved to the floor, her fingers inches from Ron's. Harry wondered whether they'd fallen asleep holding hands. The idea made him feel strangely lonely. He looked up at the shadowy ceiling, the cobwebbed chandelier. Less than 24 hours ago, he'd been standing in the sunlight at the entrance of the marquee, waiting to show in wedding guests. It had been a lifetime away. What was going to happen now? He lay on the floor and he thought of the Horcruxes, of the daunting, complex mission Dumbledore had left him. Dumbledore. The grief that had possessed him since Dumbledore's death felt different now. The accusations he'd heard from Muriel at the wedding seemed to have nestled in his brain like diseased things, infecting his memories of the wizard he'd idolized. Could Dumbledore have let such things happen? Had he been like Dudley, content to watch neglect and abuse as long as it did not affect him? Could he have turned his back on a sister who was being imprisoned and hidden? Harry thought of Godric's Hollow, of graves Dumbledore had never mentioned there. He thought of mysterious objects left without explanation in Dumbledore's will, and resentment welled in the darkness. Why hadn't Dumbledore told him? Why hadn't he explained? Had Dumbledore actually cared about Harry at all? Or had Harry been nothing more than a tool to be polished and honed, but not trusted, never confided in? Harry could not stand lying there with nothing but bitter thoughts for company. Desperate for something to do, for distraction, he slipped out of his sleeping bag, picked up his wand, and crept out of the room. On the landing, he whispered, "Lumos," and started to climb the stairs by wand light. On the second landing was the bedroom in which he and Ron had slept the last time they had been here. He glanced into it. The wardrobe doors stood open and the bedclothes had been ripped back. Harry remembered the overturned troll leg downstairs. Someone had searched the house since the order had left. Snape? Or perhaps Mundungus, who'd pilfered plenty from this house before and after Sirius had died. Harry's gaze wandered to the portrait that sometimes contained Phineas Nigellus Black, Sirius's great-great-grandfather, but it was empty, showing nothing but a stretch of muddy backdrop. Phineas Nigellus was evidently spending the night in the headmaster's study at Hogwarts. Harry continued up the stairs until he reached the topmost landing, where there were only 2 doors. The one facing him bore a nameplate reading, Sirius. Harry had never entered his godfather's bedroom before. He pushed open the door, holding his wand high to cast light as widely as possible. The room was spacious and must once have been handsome. There was a large bed with a curved wooden headboard, a tall window obscured by long velvet curtains, and a chandelier thickly coated in dust with candle stubs still resting in its sockets, solid wax hanging in frost-like drips. A fine film of dust covered the pictures on the walls and the bed's headboard. A spider's web stretched across the chandelier and the top of the wooden wardrobe, and as Harry moved deeper into the room, he heard a scurrying of disturbed mice. The teenage Sirius had plastered the walls with so many posters and pictures that little of the wall's silvery grey silk was visible. Harry could only assume that Sirius's parents had been unable to remove the permanent sticking charm that kept them on the wall, because he was sure they would not have appreciated their eldest son's taste in decoration. Sirius seemed to have gone out of his way to annoy his parents. There were several large Gryffindor banners, faded scarlet and gold, just to underline his difference from the rest of the Slytherin family. There were many pictures of Muggle motorcycles, and also, Harry had to admire Sirius's nerve, several posters of bikini-clad Muggle girls. Harry could tell they were Muggles because they remained quite stationary within their pictures, faded smiles and glazed eyes frozen on the paper. This was in contrast to the only Wizarding photograph on the walls, which is a picture of 4 Hogwarts students standing arm in arm, laughing at the camera. With a leap of pleasure, Harry recognized his father. His untidy black hair stuck up at the back like Harry's, and he too wore glasses. Beside him was Sirius, carelessly handsome, his slightly arrogant face so much younger and happier than Harry had ever seen it alive. To Sirius's right stood Pettigrew, more than a head shorter, plump and watery-eyed, flushed with pleasure at his inclusion in this coolest of gangs, with the much-admired rebels that James and Sirius had been. On James's left was Lupin, even then a little shabby-looking, but he had the same air of delighted surprise at finding himself liked and included. Or was it simply because Harry knew how it had been that he saw these things in the picture? He tried to take it from the wall. It was his now, after all. Sirius had left him everything, but it would not budge. Sirius had taken no chances in preventing his parents from redecorating his room. Harry looked round at the floor. The sky outside was growing brighter. A shaft of light revealed bits of paper, books, and small objects scattered over the carpet. Evidently, Sirius's bedroom had been searched too, though its contents seemed to have been judged mostly, if not entirely, worthless. A few of the books had been shaken roughly enough to part company with their covers, and sundry pages littered the floor. Harry bent down, picked up a few pieces of paper, and examined them. He recognized one as part of an old edition of A History of Magic by Bathilda Bagshot, and another was belonging to a motorcycle maintenance manual. The third was handwritten and crumpled. Dear Padfoot, thank you for Harry's birthday present. It was his favourite by far. 1 year old and already zooming along on a toy broomstick. He looked so pleased with himself. I'm enclosing a picture so you can see. You know, it only rises about 2 feet off the ground, but he nearly killed the cat, and he smashed a horrible vase Petunia sent me for Christmas. No complaints there. Of course, James thought it was so funny, says he's going to be a great Quidditch player, but we've had to pack away all the ornaments and make sure we don't take our eyes off him while he gets going. We had a very quiet birthday tea, just us and old Bathilda, who's always so sweet to us and who dotes on Harry. We were so sorry you couldn't come, but the orders got to come first, and Harry's not old enough yet to know it's his birthday anyway. James is getting a bit frustrated shut up here. He tries not to show it, but I can tell. Also, Dumbledore's still got his invisibility cloak, so no chance of little excursions. If you could visit, it would cheer him up so much. Wormy was here last weekend. I thought he seemed down, but that was probably the news about the McKinnons. I cried all evening when I heard. Bathilda stops in most days. She's a fascinating old thing with the most amazing stories about Dumbledore. I'm not sure he'd be pleased if he knew. I don't know how much to believe, actually, because it seems incredible that Dumbledore... Harry's extremities seemed to have gone numb. He stood quite still, holding the miraculous paper in his nerveless fingers, while inside him a kind of quiet eruption sent joy and grief thundering in equal measure through his veins. Lurching to the bed, he sat down. He read the letter again, but could not take in any more meaning than he had done the first time, and was reduced to staring at the handwriting himself. She'd made her G the same way he did. He searched through the letter for every one of them, and each felt like a friendly little wave glimpsed from behind the veil. The letter was an incredible treasure, proof that Lily Potter had lived, really lived, that her warm hand had once moved across the parchment, tracing ink into these letters, these words about him, Harry, her son. Impatiently brushing the wetness away in his eyes, he reread the letter, this time concentrating on the meaning. It was like listening to a half-remembered voice. They'd had a cat. Perhaps it perished like his parents at Godric's Hollow, or else fled when there was no one left to feed it. Sirius had bought him his first broomstick. His parents had known Bathilda Bagshot. Had Dumbledore introduced them? Dumbledore still got his invisibility cloak. There was something funny there. Harry paused, pondering his mother's words. Why had Dumbledore taken James's invisibility cloak? Harry distinctly remembered his headmaster telling him years before, "I don't need a cloak to become invisible." Perhaps some less gifted Order member needed its assistant, and Dumbledore had acted as carrier? Harry pressed on. Wormy was here. Pettigrew, the traitor, had seemed down, had he? Was he aware he was seeing James and Lily alive for the last time? And finally, Bathilda again, who told incredible stories about Dumbledore. It seems incredible that Dumbledore what? But there were any number of things that could have been incredible about Dumbledore. That he had once received bottom marks in a transfiguration test, for instance, or had taken up goat charming like Aberforth. Harry got to his feet and scanned the floor. Perhaps the rest of the letter was here somewhere.
I wasn't ready for that. Oh, he was a charmer.
He seized paper, treating them in his eagerness with as little consideration as the original searcher. He pulled open drawers, shook out books, stood on a chair to run his hand over the top of the wardrobe, and crawled under the bed and armchair. At last, lying face down on the floor, he spotted what looked like a torn piece of paper under the chest of drawers. When he pulled it out, it proved to be most of the photograph Lily had described in her letter. A black-haired baby was zooming in and out of the picture on a tiny broom, roaring with laughter, and a pair of legs that must have belonged to James was chasing after him. Harry tucked the photograph into his pocket with Lily's letter and continued to look for the second sheet. After another quarter of an hour, however, he was forced to conclude that the rest of his mother's letter was gone. Had it simply been lost in the 16 years that had elapsed since it had been written? Or had it been taken by whoever had searched the room? Harry read the first sheet again, this time looking for clues as to what might have made the second sheet valuable. His toy broomstick could hardly have been interesting to the Death Eaters. The only useful thing he could seem to think that he could see here was the possible information on Dumbledore. It seems incredible that Dumbledore... What? Harry! 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 I'm here, he called. What's happened? There was a clatter of footsteps outside the door, and Hermione burst inside. We woke up and we didn't know where you were, she said breathlessly. She turned and shouted over her shoulder. Ron, I found him! Ron's annoyed voice echoed distantly from several floors below. Good. Tell him from me he's a git. Harry, just don't disappear, please. We were terrified. Why did you come up here anyway? She gazed round the ransacked room. What have you been doing? Look what I've just found. He held out his mother's letter. Hermione took it and read it while Harry watched her. When she reached the end of the page, she looked up at him. Oh, Harry. And there's this, too. He handed her the torn photograph, and Hermione smiled at the baby zooming in and out of sight on the toy broom. I've been looking for the rest of the letter, said Harry, but it's not here. Hermione glanced round. Did you make all this mess, or was some of it done when you got here? Someone searched it before me, said Harry. I thought so. Every room I looked into on the way up had been disturbed. What were they after, do you think? Information on the Order if it was Snape. But do you think he's... But you'd think he'd already have all he needed. I mean, he was in the Order, wasn't he? Well, then, said Harry, keen to discuss his theory, what about information on Dumbledore? The second page of this letter, for instance. You know this Bathilda my mum mentions. You know who she is? Who? Bathilda Bagshot, the author of A History of Magic, said Hermione, looking interested. So your parents knew her? She was an incredible magical She was an incredible magical historian. And she's still alive, said Harry. And she lives in Godric's Hollow. Ron's Auntie Muriel was talking about her at the wedding. She knew Dumbledore's family too. Pretty interesting to talk to her, wouldn't she? Be interesting to talk to her, wouldn't she? There was a little too much understanding in the smile Hermione gave him for Harry's liking. He took back the letter and the photograph and tucked them inside the pouch round his neck so as not to have to look at her, and give himself away. I understand why you'd like to talk to her about your mum and dad and Dumbledore too, said Hermione. But that wouldn't really help us in our search for the Horcruxes, would it? Harry did not answer, and she rushed on. Harry, I know you really want to go to Godric's Hollow, but I'm scared. I'm scared at how easily those Death Eaters found us yesterday. It just makes me feel more than ever that we ought to avoid the place where your parents are buried. I'm sure they'd be expecting you to visit it. It's not just that, said Harry, still avoiding looking at her. Muriel said stuff about Dumbledore at the wedding. I want to know the truth. He told Hermione everything that Muriel had told him. When he'd finished, Hermione said, Of course, I can see why that's upset you, Harry. I'm not upset, he lied. I'd just like to know whether or not it's true. Harry, do you really think you'll get the truth from a malicious old woman like Muriel, or from Rita Skeeter? How can you believe them? You knew Dumbledore. I thought I did, he muttered. But you know how much truth there is in everything Rita writes about you. Doge is right. How can you let these people tarnish your memories of Dumbledore? He looked away, trying not to betray the resentment he felt. There it was again. Choose what to believe. He wanted the truth. Why was everyone so determined that he should not get it? Shall we go down to the kitchen? Hermione suggested after a little pause. Find something for breakfast. He agreed, but grudgingly, and followed her out of the landing and past the second door that led off it. There was a deep scratch. There were deep scratch marks in the paintwork below a small sign that he'd not noticed in the dark. He paused at the top of the stairs to read it. It was a pompous little sign, neatly lettered by hand, the sort of thing that Percy Weasley might have stuck on his bedroom door. Do not enter without the express permission of Regulus Arcturus Black. Excitement trickled through Harry, but he was not immediately sure why. He read the sign again. Hermione was already a flight of stairs below him. Hermione, he said, and he was surprised that his voice was so calm. Come back up here. What's the matter? R.A.B. I think I found him. There was a gasp, and then Hermione ran back up the stairs. In your mum's letter? But I didn't see... Harry shook his head, pointing at Regulus's sign. She read it, then clutched Harry's arm so tightly that he winced. Sirius's brother? She whispered. He was a Death Eater, said Harry. Sirius told me about him. He joined up when he was really young and then got cold feet and tried to leave. So they killed him. That fits, said Hermione. If he was a Death Eater, he'd have access to Voldemort. And if he became disenchanted, then he would want to bring Voldemort down. She released Harry, leaned over the banister and screamed, Ron! Ron, get up here, quick! Ron appeared, panting, a minute later, his wand in his hand. What's up? If it's massive spiders again, I want breakfast before... He frowned at the sign on Regulus's door, to which Hermione was silently pointing. What? That was Sirius's brother, wasn't it? Regulus Arcturus... R.A.B. The locket! You don't reckon... Let's find out, said Harry. He pushed the door. It was locked. Hermione pointed her wand at the handle and said, Alohomora. There was a click, and the door swung open. They moved over the threshold together, gazing round. Regulus's bedroom was slightly smaller than Sirius's, though it had had the same sense of former grandeur. Whereas Sirius had sought to advertise his difference from the rest of the family, Regulus had striven to emphasize the opposite. The the Slytherin colors of emerald and silver were everywhere, draping the bed, the walls, and the windows. The black family crest was painstakingly painted over the bed, along with its motto, Toujours pour. Beneath this was a collection of yellow newspaper clippings, all stuck together to make a ragged collage. Hermione crossed the room to examine them. "They're all about Voldemort," she said. "Regulus seems to have been a fan for a few years before he joined the Death Eaters." A little puff of dust rose from the bed covers as she sat down to read the clippings. Harry, meanwhile, had noticed another photograph. A Hogwarts Quidditch team was smiling and waving out of the frame. He moved closer and saw the snakes emblazoned on their chests, Slytherins. Regulus was instantly recognizable as the boy sitting in the middle of the front row. He had the same dark hair and slightly haughty look of his brother, though he was smaller, slighter, and rather less handsome than Sirius had been. "He played Seeker," said Harry. "What?" said Hermione vaguely. She was still immersed in Voldemort's press clippings. "He's sitting in the middle of the front row. That's where the Seeker—" "Never mind," said Harry, realizing that no one was listening. Ron was on his hands and knees, searching under the wardrobe. Harry looked round the room for likely hiding places and approached the desk. Yet again, someone had searched before them. The drawer's contents had been turned over recently, the dust disturbed, but there was nothing of value here. Old quills, out-of-date textbooks that bore evidence of being roughly handled, a recently smashed ink bottle, its sticky residue covering the contents of the drawer. "There's an easier way," said Hermione as Harry wiped his inky fingers on his jeans. She raised her wand and said, "Accio Locket!" Nothing happened. Ron, who'd been searching the folds of the faded curtains, looked disappointed. "Is that it, then? It's not here." "Oh, it could still be here, but under counter-enchantments," said Hermione. "Charms to prevent it being summoned magically, you know." "Like Voldemort put on the stone basin in the cave," said Harry, remembering how he'd been unable to summon the fake locket. "How are we supposed to find it, then?" asked Ron. "We search manually," said Hermione. "That's a good idea," said Ron, rolling his eyes, and he resumed his examination of the curtains. They combed every inch of the room for more than an hour, but were forced finally to conclude that the locket was not there. The sun had risen now. Its light dazzled them even through the grimy landing windows. "It could be somewhere else, though," said Hermione in a rallying tone as they walked back downstairs. As Harry and Ron had become more discouraged, she seemed to have become more determined. "Whether he'd managed to destroy it or not, he'd want to keep it hidden from Voldemort, wouldn't he? Remember all those awful things we had to get rid of when we were here last time? The clock that shot bolts at everyone and those old robes that tried to strangle Ron? Regulus might have put them there to protect the locket's hiding place, even though we didn't realize it at... Harry and Ron looked at her. She was standing with one foot in mid-air, with the dumbstruck look of one who'd just been obliviated. Her eyes had drifted out of focus. "At the time," she finished in a whisper. "Something wrong?" asked Ron. "There was a locket." "What?" said Harry and Ron together. "In the cabinet in the drawing room. Nobody could open it. And we... Harry felt as though a brick had slid through his chest into his stomach. He remembered. He'd even handled the thing as they passed it around, each trying to prise it open. It had been tossed into a sack of rubbish along with the snuff box of walk-cap powder and the music box that made everyone sleepy. "Kreacher nicked loads of things back from us," said Harry. It was his only chance, the only slender hope left to them, and he was going to cling to it until he was forced to let go. "He had a whole stash of stuff in his cupboard in the kitchen. Come on." He ran downstairs, taking the steps two at a time, the other two thundering along in his wake. They made so much noise that they woke the portrait of Sirius's mother as they passed through the hall. "Filth! Mudbloods! Scum!" she screamed after them as they dashed down into the basement kitchen and slammed the door behind them. Harry ran the length of the room, skidded to a halt at the door of Kreacher's cupboard and wrenched it open. There was the nest of old dirty blankets in which the house elf had once slept, but they were no longer glittering with the trinkets Kreacher had salvaged. The only thing there was an old copy of Nature's Nobility, a wizarding genealogy. Refusing to believe his eyes, Harry snatched up the blankets and shook them. A dead mouse fell out and rolled dismally across the floor. Ron groaned as he threw himself into a kitchen chair. Hermione closed her eyes. "It's not over yet," said Harry, and he raised his voice and called, "Creature!" There was a loud crack, and the house elf that Harry had so reluctantly inherited from Sirius appeared out of nowhere in front of the cold and empty fireplace. Tiny, half-human-sized, his pale skin hanging off him in folds, white hair sprouting copiously from his bat-like ears. He was still wearing the filthy rag in which they'd first met him, and the contemptuous look he bent upon Harry showed that his attitude toward his change of ownership had altered no more than his outfit. "Master," croaked Creature in his bullfrog's voice, and he bowed low, muttering to his knees. "Back in my mistress's old house with the blood traitor Weasley and the mudblood." "I forbid you to call anyone blood traitor or mudblood," growled Harry. He would have found Creature, with his snout-like nose and bloodshot eyes, a distinctly unlovable object, even if the elf had not betrayed Sirius to Voldemort. "I've got a question for you," said Harry, his heart beating rather fast as he looked down at the elf. "And I order you to answer it truthfully, understand?" "Yes, master," said Creature, bowing low again. Harry saw his lips moving soundlessly, undoubtedly framing the insults he was now forbidden to utter. 2 years ago," said Harry, his heart now hammering against his ribs, "there was a big gold locket in the drawing room upstairs. We threw it out. Did you steal it back?" There was a moment's silence, during which Creature straightened up to look Harry full in the face. Then he said, "Yes." "Where is it now?" said Harry jubilantly, as Ron and Hermione looked gleeful. Creature closed his eyes as though he could not bear to see their reactions to its next words. "Gone." "Gone?" echoed Harry, elation flooding out of him. "What do you mean it's gone?" The elf shivered. He swayed. "Creature," said Harry fiercely, "I order you—" "Mundungus Fletcher," croaked the elf, his eyes still tight shut. "Mundungus Fletcher stole it all. Miss Bella's and Miss Sissy's pictures, my mistress's gloves, the Order of Merlin first class, the goblets with the family crest, and—" Creature was gulping for air. His hollow chest was rising and falling rapidly. Then his eyes flew open and he uttered a blood-curdling scream. "And the locket! Master Regulus's locket! Creature did wrong! Creature failed in his orders!" Harry reacted instinctively. As Creature lunged for the poker standing in the grate, he launched himself upon the elf, flattening him. Hermione's scream mingled with Creature's, but Harry bellowed louder than both of them. "Creature, I order you to stay still!" He felt the elf freeze and released him. Creature lay flat on the stone-cold floor, tears gushing from his sagging eyes. "Harry, let him up," Hermione whispered. "So he can beat himself up with a poker?" snorted Harry, kneeling beside the elf. "I don't think so. Right, Creature, I want the truth. How do you know—" Why you do this? Why you do these things?
Sorry.
Right, Creature, I want the truth. How do you know Mundungus Fletcher stole the locket? "Creature saw him," gasped the elf as tears poured over his snout and into his mouth full of greying teeth. "Creature saw him coming out of Creature's cupboard with his hands full of Creature's treasures. Creature told the sneak thief to stop, but Mundungus Fletcher laughed and ran." "You called the locket Master Regulus's," said Harry. "Why? Where did it come from? What did Regulus have to do with it? Creature, sit up and tell me everything you know about that locket and everything that Regulus had to do with it." The elf sat up, curled into a ball, placed his wet face between his knees, and began to rock back and forth. When he spoke, his voice was muffled but quite distinct and silent in the silent, echoing kitchen. "Master Sirius ran away. Good riddance, for he was a bad boy and broke my mistress's heart with his lawless ways. But Master Regulus had proper pride. He knew what was due to the name of Black and the dignity of his pure blood. For years he talked to the Dark Lord, who was going to bring the wizards out of hiding to rule the Muggles and the Muggle-borns. And when he was 16 years old, Master Regulus joined the Dark Lord. So proud, so proud, so happy to serve. And one day, a year after he joined, Master Regulus came down to the kitchen to see Creature. Master Regulus always liked Creature, and Master Regulus said, the old elf rocked faster than ever. He said that the Dark Lord required an elf. The Dark Lord needed an elf, Harry repeated, looking round at Ron and Hermione, who looked just as puzzled as he did. Oh, yes, moaned Creature. And Master Regulus had volunteered Creature. It was an honour, said Master Regulus, an honour for him and for Creature, who must be sure to do whatever the Dark Lord ordered him to, and then to come home. Creature rocked still faster, his breath coming in sobs. So Creature went to the Dark Lord. The Dark Lord did not tell Creature what they were to do, but took Creature with him to a cave beside the sea. And beyond the cave there was a cavern, and in the cavern there was a great black lake. The hairs on Harry's neck stood up. Creature's croaking voice seemed to have come to him from across that dark water. He saw what happened as clearly as though he'd been present. There was a boat. Of course there'd been a boat. Harry knew the boat, ghostly green and tiny, bewitched so as to carry one wizard and one victim toward the island in the centre. This, then, was how Voldemort had tested the defences surrounding the Horcruxes, by borrowing a disposable creature, a house elf. There was a basin full of potion on the island. The Dark Lord made Creature drink it. The elf quaked from head to foot. Creature drank, and as he drank, he saw terrible things. Creature's insides burned. Creature cried for Master Regulus to save him. He cried for his mistress Black, but the Dark Lord only laughed. He made Creature drink all the potion. He dropped a locket into the empty basin. He filled it with more potion. And then the Dark Lord sailed away, leaving Creature on the island. Harry could see it happening. He watched Voldemort's white, snake-like face vanishing into the darkness, those red eyes fixed piteously on the thrashing elf whose death would occur in minutes whenever he succumbed to the desperate thirst that the burning potion caused its victim. But here Harry's imagination could go no further, for he could not see how Creature had escaped. Creature needed water. He crawled to the island's edge and he drank from the Black Lake. And dead hands came out of the water and dragged Creature under the surface. How did you get away? Harry asked, and he was not surprised to hear himself whispering. Creature raised his ugly head and looked at Harry with his great bloodshot eyes. Master Regulus told Creature to come back, he said. I know, but how did you escape the Inferi? Creature did not seem to understand. Master Regulus told Creature to come back, he repeated. I know, but, well, isn't it obvious, Harry? Said Ron. He disapparated. But you couldn't apparate in and out of that cave, said Harry. Otherwise, Dumbledore... Elf magic isn't like wizard's magic, is it? Said Ron. I mean, they can apparate and disapparate in and out of Hogwarts when we can't. There was silence as Harry digested this. How could Voldemort have made such a mistake? But even as he thought this, Hermione spoke, and her voice was icy. Of course, Voldemort would have considered the ways of house elves far beneath his notice, just like all the purebloods who treat them like animals. It would never have occurred to him that they might have magic he didn't. The house elf's highest law is his master's bidding, intoned Creature. Creature was told to come home, so Creature came home. Well then, you did what you were told, didn't you? Well then, you did what you were told, didn't you? Said Hermione kindly. You didn't disobey orders at all. Creature shook his head, rocking as fast as ever. So what happened when you got back? Harry asked. What did Regulus say when you told him what happened? Master Regulus was very worried, croaked Creature. Master Regulus told Creature to stay hidden and not leave the house. And then it was a little while later. Master Regulus came to find Creature in his cupboard one night, and Master Regulus was strange, not as he usually was, disturbed in his mind, Creature could tell. And he asked Creature to take him to the cave where Creature had gone with the Dark Lord. And so they had set off. Harry could visualize them quite clearly, the frightened old elf and the thin, dark seeker who had so resembled Sirius. Creature knew how to open the concealed entrance to the underground cavern, knew how to raise the tiny boat. This time it was his beloved Regulus who sailed with him to the island with its basin of potion. And he made you drink the potion, said Harry, disgusted. But Creature shook his head and wept. Hermione's hands leapt to her mouth. She seemed to have understood something. Master Regulus took from his pocket a locket like the one the Dark Lord had, said Creature, tears pouring down either side of his snout-like nose. And he told Creature to take it, and when the basin was empty, to switch the lockets. Creature's sobs came in great rasps now. Harry had to concentrate hard to understand him. And he ordered Creature to leave without him, and he told Creature to go home and never tell my mistress what he'd done, but to destroy the first locket. And he drank all the potion, and Creature swapped the lockets and watched as Master Regulus was dragged beneath the water, and... Oh, Creature! Wailed Hermione, who was crying. She dropped to her knees beside the elf and tried to hug him. At once he was on his feet, cringing away from her, quite obviously repulsed. The mudblood touched Creature. He will not allow it. What would his mistress say? I told you not to call her mudblood, snarled Harry, but the elf was already punishing himself. He fell to the ground and banged his forehead on the floor. Stop him! Stop him! Hermione cried. Oh, don't you see how sick it is, the way they've got to obey? Creature, stop! Stop! Shouted Harry. The elf lay on the floor, panting and shivering, green mucus glistening round his snout, a bruise already blooming on his pallid forehead where he had struck himself, his eyes swollen and bloodshot and swimming in tears. Harry had never seen something so pitiful. So you brought the locket home, he said relentlessly, for he was now determined to get the full story, and you tried to destroy it. Nothing Creature did made any mark on it, moaned the elf. Creature tried everything he knew, but nothing would work. So many powerful spells upon the casing. Creature was sure the way to destroy it was to get inside it, but it wouldn't open. Creature punished himself. He tried again. He punished himself. He tried again. Creature failed to obey orders. Creature could not destroy the locket, and his mistress was mad with grief because Master Regulus had disappeared, and Creature could not tell her what happened. No, because Master Regulus had forbidden him to tell any of the family what happened in the cave. Creature began to sob so hard that there was no more coherent words. Tears flowed down Hermione's cheeks as she watched Creature, but she did not dare touch him again. Even Ron, who was no fan of creatures, looked troubled. Harry sat back on his heels and shook his head, trying to clear it. I don't understand you, Creature, he said finally. Voldemort tried to kill you. Regulus died to bring Voldemort down, but you were still happy to betray Sirius to Voldemort. You were happy to go to Narcissa and Bellatrix and pass information to Voldemort through them. Harry, Creature doesn't think like that, said Hermione, wiping her eyes on the back of her hand. He's a slave. House elves are used to bad, even brutal treatment. What Voldemort did to Creature wasn't that far out of the common way. What do wizard wars mean to an elf-like creature? He's loyal to people who are kind to him, and Mrs. Black must have been, and Regulus certainly was, so he served them willingly and parroted their beliefs. I know what you're going to say, she went on as Harry began to protest, that Regulus changed his mind. But he doesn't seem to have explained that to Creature, does he? And I think I know why. Creature and Regulus's family were all safer if they kept to the old pure blood line. Regulus was trying to protect them all. Sirius was horrible to Creature, Harry, and it's no good looking like that. You know it's true. Creature had been alone for a long time when Sirius came to live here, and he was probably starving for a bit of affection. I'm sure Miss Sissy and Miss Bella were perfectly lovely to Creature when he turned up, so he did them a favour and told them everything they wanted to know. I've said all along that wizards would pay for how they treat house elves. Well, Voldemort did, and so did Sirius. Harry had no retort. As he watched Creature sobbing on the floor, he remembered what Dumbledore had said to him mere hours after Sirius's death. I do not think Sirius ever saw Creature as a being with feelings as acute as a human's. Creature, said Harry after a while, when you feel up to it, please sit up. It was several minutes before Creature hiccuped himself into silence. Then he pushed himself into a sitting position again, rubbing his knuckles into his eyes like a small child. Creature, I'm going to ask you to do something, said Harry. He glanced at Hermione for assistance. He wanted to give the order kindly, but at the same time he could not pretend that it was not an order. However, the change in his tone seemed to have gained her approval. She smiled encouragingly. Creature, I want you... Creature, I want you to please go and find Mundungus Fletcher. We need to find out where Master Regulus's locket is. It's really important. We want to finish the work Master Regulus started. We want to ensure he didn't die in vain. Creature dropped his fists and looked up at Harry. Find Mundungus Fletcher, he croaked, and bring him here, to Grimmauld Place, said Harry. Do you think you can do that for us? As Creature nodded and got to his feet, Harry had a sudden inspiration. He pulled out Hagrid's purse and took out the fake Horcrux, the substitute locket in which Regulus had placed the note to Voldemort. Creature, I'd like you to have this, he said, pressing the locket into the elf's hands. This belonged to Regulus, and I'm sure he'd want you to have it as a token of gratitude for what you... Overkill, mate, said Ron, as the elf took one look at the locket, let out a howl of shock and misery, and threw himself back on the ground. It took them nearly half an hour to calm down Creature, who was so overcome to be presented with a Black family heirloom for his very own that he was too weak at the knees to stand properly. When finally he was able to totter a few steps, they all accompanied him to his cupboard and watched him tuck up the locket safely in his dirty blankets, and assured him that they would make its protection their first priority while he was away. He then made 2 loud bows to Harry and Ron, and even gave a funny little spasm in Hermione's direction that might have been an attempt at a respectful salute, before disapparating with the usual loud crack.
Who would have thought Creature was such a complicated being? I guess that's how Voldemort got in before. House elves.
Poor Creature.
Poor Creature.
I cried the first time I read this too, Katie.
I wonder how Dobby's gonna react if Harry's like acting nice to Creature now. Like just before.
When they got in a fist fight?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
But maybe Creature will be nicer to Harry, so it won't make Dobby quite as angry.
It's true. Creature won't be shit-talking Harry all the time.
Exactly. So Regulus Black.
R.A.B.
When was it that name came up? Was it in the movie or something? And I asked you, is that it? It was after we read the RAB chapter.
Oh.
Can't remember if the name came up in the book or... Because I said those are the only initials that I can think of that had RB.
I think somebody
Regulus
says Sirius's brother Regulus or something. I think Lupin says it in movie 6 or something.
I think so.
It's a heavy-handed clue.
Literally, no one else has those initials.
In the book, you get it in book 5.
Okay.
But in the movie, I'm pretty sure somebody says some really heavy-handed stuff. Yes, early in book 6 as well. Because Slughorn shows Harry the picture of Sirius and Regulus together.
Maybe that was it. When we watched the movie, I think.
I would have liked to have had the set.
Yeah.
What a brave, brave boy Regulus was.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all you knew about him was that he was the pure blood Death Eater brother that Sirius kind of talked shit about.
Yep.
And really, no one had any idea what a...
But secretly...
brave human being he was.
He was all about getting rid of Voldemort.
Mm-hmm. And he
hurt my house elf.
Yeah.
POS.
And he wouldn't do that to Creature. He would not make Creature go through that a second time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. When I first read that, I just was very overcome and impressed at the courage and integrity of character that Regulus had.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you never meet him, you never know anything about him, but the fact that he did that and he was so kind to Creature.
Makes you wonder if Regulus was the one that tried to drag Harry in.
That'd be fucked up.
Right?
Yes, Creature was a brave boy. And yeah, the locket does appear in 5. That's when you first see the locket.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool callback. Right?
Yeah.
The locket, I can't open it.
Junk. Throw it out. And God, Mundungus
Fletcher, again. This dude.
I'm just waiting for Harry to just beat the crap out of him.
Tough look for my guy, Mundungus Fletcher, as they say in binge mode.
If Mundungus keeps pushing his luck, Harry might be at the breaking point where he might mean Crucio.
He may actually mean that curse. Katie, actually, it's a good point. I feel like the bodies had to be made into Inferi by Voldemort.
Oh, I did.
You have to enchant them, so yeah, Regulus is probably.
I thought it might just be an enchantment on the lake, so once you get dragged in, kind of like a vampire, you know, if you get bitten by a vampire, you can turn into the vampire. If you're killed by an Inferi, you
become one.
Or like a zombie, I guess, is a better analogy.
I think necromancy is kind of really what it is. I think he'd have to go in there and enchant it.
Well, yeah, but I assume the whole like cave was enchanted.
I don't know.
Or the water, at least.
What do you think about the theory that Crookshanks is the Potter Cat?
The Potter Cat. Ooh.
Aww. I like that.
That'd be a nice one.
That's nice. I like that. I've never heard that before. That's cute.
Yeah.
That is really sad, though. That bit of the chapter where Harry's reading the letter.
Mm-hmm.
We had a cat. What happened?
Finds out Crookshanks is his cat. Hermione, give me my cat back. It's mine. And apparently he could ride a broomstick since he was 1 year old. One
right?
years old.
Already talented.
Yeah.
And Sirius bought him his first broomstick
Mm-hmm.
and his last broomstick.
Yep.
Still don't know how he got his money out of his vault to buy that broomstick. That's still.
Yeah, because he was a fugitive at that
Yeah,
point. So
yeah.
it's like,
Yeah. But
maybe the goblins don't care. They're like, look, I'm just here to make money. I'm
yeah.
not getting into this politics and criminal stuff.
You want your money? Yeah, that's what this person just said. Would the goblins even care?
Yeah.
I feel like they probably don't. As long as they get their money and you don't Ludo Bagman them, they don't care.
Yeah, exactly. Do you ever find out what happens to Ludo Bagman?
Do we ever find out what happened to
Yeah.
Ludo Bagman? No.
Oh.
He is on the run.
He's
just trying to stay away from all the goblins.
on the run, or he's a bone buried beneath a shack. Like some other people we know.
Oh, shit. I think Crookshanks may be the Potter Cat because he helped Sirius in book 3.
That's true.
Yeah.
And he does attack Wormtail.
Yeah, a lot.
Mm-hmm. So maybe he knows.
Maybe Crookshanks just knew. Yeah.
The Potters send their regards.
Yep. Another one. In book 4 at the Quidditch World Cup, Harry sees the little kids riding the toy broomsticks and thinks, "Oh, I've never had that kind of experience."
I do remember that.
And it's like,
well, you did.
Yeah, you did. Here's the proof right here.
This note.
What did Dumbledore
need the invisibility cloak for?
Yeah.
It's a good question.
Since he doesn't need
he knew that their son would need it 12 years later. Well, 10 years later.
10 years later. I don't know. Interesting.
It is. Just
Intriguing.
more questions about Dumbledore. Answering all of our other questions, but just making you second guess Dumbledore over and over again.
Yep.
And God, I was not ready for the goat thing.
Mention of the goats again.
The goat charming, yes.
Goat charming.
How appropriate it was that we had that conversation before this chapter.
Aberforth and his goat charming.
He was a regular Casanova with the goats.
Oh, everyone's on this Crookshanks thing. Maybe Mrs. Norris and Crookshanks are friends. Don't Measles have abilities to detect trustworthy people? He charmed the goats with his wand. You bet it. You know he did.
Oh, yes.
Where do the rest of the pets go when the students are in class? Like, owls go to the owlery, but what about the cats and the pygmy puffs? Well, we know Trevor tries to fucking escape all the time.
The cats are hunting, and the pygmy puffs are trying not to get eaten.
Fair.
Or helping escaped convicts find their
target.
Yeah.
Or like Trevor trying to escape and be
which
free.
Apparently he succeeded in.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a piece about Trevor. Trevor finally escapes for real and then meets up with the other toads down at the lake on the Hogwarts grounds and lives out the rest of his life with all the other toads at the lake.
It's a nice way to think about it.
Yeah. So, good for Trevor. That's nice.
Mm-hmm. And then I think I brought up the fact that toads only live about 2 to 3 years, and he was only in 2 to 3 books. So I
Just-
got a little morbid on that one. Then you retorted with, well, he's a magical toad, so they live longer.
Does the fat lady let them back into the common room? Do the elves just take care of them and clean up after them? Yeah, who's cleaning those
Yeah.
cats' litter boxes? Or are they just shitting wherever they want? You know, like how wizards can just vanish the evidence.
Mhm.
Is that what they do with cat poop?
I would assume so.
Like,
I mean, no, they have to clean the owlry.
they never clean the owlry. Every time Harry goes in there's always something about how he almost slips and falls in shit.
Okay, fair enough. They must have a cat box.
They're a communal Hogwarts cat box.
Maybe.
Where
So
where
it's
the-
magic cat litter where the poop just vanishes.
Luna did have some in her bag the one day.
Yeah, that's true.
Remember, Luna had some. Do the
So-
cats poop outside? Well, that's what I'm saying. Do the cats poop outside? Do they go somewhere? You know,
The important questions.
is there a litter box area somewhere?
Do you think they have like some super fancy litter box area, like the prefects have the big, like
The fancy
swimming
bathroom?
pool sized tub?
They
You
have
think
a
there's just like a huge
sandbox
Yeah.
of cat litter. I mean, maybe.
like just enchanted cat toys going around all the
Yeah.
time for them to play with, and
Catnips.
yeah,
Could be. Maybe there's a cat room where they all can go and hang out.
go and get high on some nip.
Yeah. I want to know what Neville did after Hogwarts. We can talk about that after we finish the book.
It'd be cool if Neville ended up becoming an Auror.
Yeah. Right? Proved himself to be super badass. Trevor's last appearance was book 5 or 6, so he lived about 6 years.
Oh, was it 5 or 6?
Well, he moved to the lake after that. How long he stayed at the lake, I don't know. I want to know what Matthew Lewis is up to. I wouldn't mind finding that out either.
Wait, who was that?
He's the guy that plays Neville Longbottom.
Oh.
Katie. He's being hot. That's what he's doing. I'd say that's accurate. Yes, he fucking is.
It's funny how that worked out. Neville, like the ugly, nerdy one, and then you had Draco, who everyone thought was attractive, you said.
God.
Total
Everyone-
flip-flop when they get older.
Everyone thought that Tom Felton was the hottest thing alive. Everyone.
When I see him, the biggest thing is just his hair. Like,
Yeah.
it makes him look, like, eccentric. Just crazy.
Mm.
Just
See, when
shave it off. Try the bald look. It might work for you, man.
yeah, nowadays I know his hair is jacked. When the Harry Potter movies came out, and me and all my friends were talking about, everyone is always talking, oh, Tom Felton is so hot. Oh no, Daniel Radcliffe is so hot. It was always, who's hotter, Harry or Draco? Harry or Draco? And I was just sitting there going, I don't know. I kind of like Lucius, so I don't know what to tell you.
Can I throw Voldemort's name in that?
oh, Draco's just so hot. Blah blah blah. All right, that's cool. I'm all about his dad, so all right, whatever. We never saw eye to eye. My friends and I.
Couldn't tell.
No,
Couldn't tell.
no. Although I don't understand how they couldn't see Lucius's attractiveness.
Mhm.
How could they not get it? The man is beautiful. I don't know. They kind of gave up making Neville unattractive after movie 5. Yeah, they didn't
Was
really
he even in 6?
for like 2 seconds. Katie, Lucius, Tom Riddle, movie 2, Oliver Wood, the actor Oliver Wood. That dude's name is Sean Biggerstaff. I'm not kidding. Oliver Wood is played by a dude named Sean Biggerstaff.
It's like he was destined to be a porn star.
I know, right? And Christian Coulson played Tom Riddle in the second movie. See, I don't know. Never really had celebrity crushes. They are all attractive, but so are 99% of celebrities.
Yeah, I haven't had that like hardcore crush. I really don't have any feelings towards any of the Harry Potter characters because I'm watching the movies for the first time now, and they're all like 15 and 16. So that's
it's different when you're a kid watching them. That's
what I mean.
true. But even when I was a kid, I was never attracted to the students. I was always all about the other characters in Harry Potter. I was like, oh, what? Oh, I don't care about Ron.
I want an experienced wizard.
That's right. I want a wizard who really knows how to use his wand. Tom Riddle and Oliver Wood tag team. Let's cross wands. You guys have fun with that. It's nice to know I have less competition on my side of things.
Oh man, now I'm just thinking about another fan fiction. Snape and Lupin.
Snap and Lupin.
Snap and Lupin.
They were kids when I refer. I was a kid when the movies came out, so it wouldn't have been weird. But like if you watched the movies when they came out, you would have been 12, 13 or whatever. So
yeah, I'm sure I would have had more opinions about.
You probably would have thought Hermione was cute at 12 or 13, though you like Emma Watson, but you don't. See, that's what it is. Like you think Emma Watson's cute, but not as Hermione because she's a kid.
Exactly.
And that's weird.
Exactly.
It's all about.
So it's like I really don't have any opinions on the characters because as I'm viewing them,
they're kids.
Yeah.
No, you don't want a little Bellatrix Lestrange up in your business.
I wouldn't say no.
Ah, see? Little Bella in your life?
Might be a little scary, though. I could only imagine how crazy she is.
You'd do okay. You'd be all right. I'm sure Lucius used his wand a lot in Azkaban. It's possible. Who knows?
Did he use it a lot, or was he too busy polishing other wands?
Yeah, maybe he was just... I'm gay as fuck, but I also wouldn't say no to Bella. Universal appeal right there, Bellatrix.
Exactly.
Anyone would tap that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what were we talking about the other day? We were talking about Vikings.
Yeah.
Lagatha.
Oh yeah, Lagatha, definitely.
I would not say no to her. She's hot.
Mm-hmm. And a badass.
Yeah, it's like an overall thing. That's how I feel. Vikings is like such a... What the hell, man? That better not smell. I'm just saying that better not stink. Did Lucius drop his wand in Azkaban?
Mm-hmm. You never drop your wand.
Never drop your wand in Azkaban. And the Dementors are blind, so it's not like they can help you out.
Nope. Just they can just feel, oh, someone is very unhappy. Someone is, but someone else is very happy.
So- someone else is unhappy. Someone else is very happy. Oh my god. Oh god. No wonder the Dementors quit. They were. The Dementors can sense the fear. Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
mean. Somebody's very excited and someone is scared shitless.
So yeah, Azkaban. Let's just know.
We don't need any more information about Azkaban. We're good on that.
We need that as bad as we need more information about the goat.
The goat. Goats. Maybe there was more than one. Goat.
Oh, where is this conversation gone?
I don't know. It started out innocently enough with, oh, this one's hot. That one's hot. Now we're back on goats again. The Dementors go for the prisoner who gets a happy ending, I think. It's like, I would have bet far. No, there's no such thing as too far. Between Muriel and Creature, I have to say your voices are superb, especially when you enjoy the character. Thank you. It's so much fun to read them. Some of these characters are a lot of fun.
Yeah, I can tell.
More than others. Some more than others.
Who's your favorite character to read?
Who's my favorite character to read? Hang on. I just got distracted. Joey Rue says there is a place called Goats on the Roof where he lives. And it's a market, and they have goats on the roof. It's cool.
Oh.
What is that company called that I had the Beekmans? 1802?
What are we talking about?
The goat milk lip balm and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Beekmans,
Yep.
right? So there's a farm. Well, it's a company, Beekmans. They do all of these all-natural, high-end products.
Mm.
And it's all goat-based. So then I was watching them do like a QVC special.
Mm.
They had a travel set, and it had like perfume and soap and all kinds of stuff in it, and it came in a little suitcase, and they were like showing all the stuff, and they had a little baby goat dressed up as a flight attendant in the thing, and it was so cute. And they they advertise all their stuff with the goats, and then you can go and like visit the farm and see the goats and all that stuff.
Maybe they're owned by Goats on a Roof.
Maybe
I just-
Everforth invested.
I mean,
Some
I legit
funds.
want to go to that market now.
I know,
Just-
me too. I mean, I want to go to Canada anyway. It's one place to stop while we're touring Canada and seeing the things. So who's my favorite character to read?
Also, since I've been watching that new show with Rupert Grint, I have to say your Ron Weasley voice is like right on. It sounds just like him.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice!
Because now that I've watched more of it and heard him speak a lot more.
I do a good Ron?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I really do try to pay attention when I'm reading Ron, Harry, and Hermione. They've got the most dialogue, obviously, but I really try to really Hermione just I don't know. I do try to pay attention with Ron every time and not make him and Harry sound alike. I have relatives in Canada. I would love to come to Canada. Can't go anywhere now because no one wants us.
Yeah.
But once COVID is over, love to go to Canada.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we were talking about going to Niagara Falls and stuff, so
Yeah,
just
we were.
a little,
Yeah, just a little drive.
just a
over
little
the
skip
border.
across the falls.
So consensus is people seem to really enjoy my Minerva McGonagall.
McGonagall seems like it'd be fun.
McGonagall is
Voice.
fun.
Yeah.
Have a biscuit, Potter. Katie loved Hepzibah Smith. Hepzibah Smith was fun. She was a one chapter character, but she was fun to read. Just like Auntie Muriel. Fucking Auntie Muriel was so much fun. Ah, I loved her. Well, that's very kind of you. We'll have to take you up on that offer. We'll have to come and visit when we can, whenever that is.
Yes. In the future, whenever everything clears up.
Yes. But we'll definitely have to do that. I really like reading Voldemort.
Well, I could tell that too.
I like reading Voldemort quite a lot. Your Voldemort and your Umbridge are very good. Thank you.
How did you feel about reading Umbridge? Because that was another character that I feel like you really enjoyed reading.
I really enjoyed reading Umbridge a lot. Dolores Umbridge was fucking great to read. I love her. And yeah, reading the interactions between McGonagall and Umbridge were probably some of my favorite parts.
Oh, those were just great parts.
Yeah. Your Rufus is good too. Poor Rufus. Rest in peace, Scrimgeour's pants.
Well, I mean, he won't be needing them anymore, so they're all yours.
They're all mine. Your Hagrid is pretty good. Thank you. Hagrid hurts. Doing Hagrid hurts sometimes. It's kind of difficult to read Hagrid. And sometimes it doesn't always come out exactly how I want it to. You can do a West Country accent really well for Hagrid. Thank you. Thank you. I need to be a voice actor. It's settled.
There you go.
Hire me. I'll do it. I'll do it. Who wants to hire me? I'll totally do it. Come on. Which is the most difficult voice to do? Hagrid's is like physically the hardest to like
get that raspiness.
Yeah, to maintain it. Voldemort can be too. Because it's like raspy in a different way.
I feel like you go to the other side of the spectrum with Voldemort's. You got like the raspiness, but you get a lot higher pitched with Voldemort.
Yeah.
Wormtail. You piece of shit, I hate you. You suck. Let me torture you, I'm bored. Go, Milk Nagini.
I really enjoy reading Slughorn too.
Hello, my boy.
Oh, you've got some crystallized pineapple for me.
Still too soon. I'm still a little salty about how they portrayed Slughorn in
In
the movie. Nothing like what I thought.
No. No. Because I feel like she does a very good job of constructing Slughorn as a character and how much what he looks like kind of represents who he is, and with the mustache and the big belly and everything. And then it's literally just Jim Broadbent in tweed.
Yeah.
That's it.
I can't remember the actor's name, but in Sick Note, the other guy who was in Rupert.
The doctor?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That,
I don't
like-
know what his name. I can't remember what his name is.
I don't picture him as Slughorn, but like his
Build.
his build is
Yeah.
how I picture Slughorn.
I always pictured Slughorn as he should be kind of an "oh Lord, he coming,"
Yeah.
you know.
It's got to be rotund.
Yes, yes. He is very likable in the movie. He's kind of like a likable buffoon almost a
Yeah.
little bit.
I'll say I think the actor did a great job. I think he was a good actor for it. They needed to just put him in a fat suit. That's all.
Give him a mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought Jim Broadbent was great. He's a good actor. But yeah, they missed the mark. And I loved how his like face thing that he did. That thing. I don't know. He's just supposed to be so big that you see his belly before you see him. You know, like
He's a chunk.
Dudley was never chubby enough either. No, not even close. Vernon was kind of fun to read.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boy.
Get over here, boy.
Get over here, boy.
Meh.
I hate wizards. They suck.
I kind of do a Nigel voice from Wild Thornberries when I try to do
Yeah.
Vernon.
Smashing. Smashing. I love that show.
I know, me too.
I don't know, Petunia's fun. Hermione's whatever. Luna Lovegood's kind of fun too.
That really dreamy voice.
You've got rack spurts over your head, you know.
Harry notices the symptoms. I also thought that was a great line.
Harry notices the symptoms.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rack spurts. Yeah. Yeah. Ron kind of went, what does Ron say? She's great. Always good value.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus, Ron. You just say some savage shit sometimes. He's too likable in the movie. Should be like a modern day influencer chasing clout, but in magic times. I could kind of see that. Like, looking for favors kind of thing.
Yeah.
I just love how Harry really comes to really care about Luna and understands her.
Mm-hmm.
And he tries to explain them to Crumb, like at their family. He's just like, they're probably just going to look for Crumplehorn Snorkax. And Crumb's like, what?
I don't know what that is. No one does. It's okay.
And she's probably just trying to get rack spurts out of the air. The what? Harry recognized the symptoms immediately. Just goes to show you how much he knows about Luna, how well he knows her.
I know.
And how well she knows him, that she can just tell.
Yeah, if Ginny didn't scoop that up, maybe Harry would have
got with Luna.
Yeah, got a little loony with Luna.
There was some hardcore Harry Luna shipping for a long time.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, there were people ride or die for Harry and Luna.
Yeah, I could almost see it happening, but at the same time, I don't think it would work out.
No, I don't think it would either. I don't think.
Oh my god, how would Ron act? You broke up with my sister.
To date
date
Looney
Luna.
Lovegood. No, there's no way. There's no way. I just really like their friendship and how their dynamic works. Harry just gets her when so many people got a fucking clue about her.
I know.
I don't think they could actually make Dudley as fat as he is in the books. Probably not. I mean, what does she say in one of them? He was the size of a baby killer whale. Like, Jesus.
Just stick in the orca that played Free Willy.
Just
Put a toupee on him. Dudley's hair.
little blonde wig.
Yeah, he was pretty big.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably asked him to get that big, but his parents were probably like, "No, he's not getting diabetes before he's 18."
I wonder if being gay is accepted in the magical world.
You know, it is never brought up, is it?
No.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know.
I feel like it would be. Like, how is that a big deal when you have werewolves and vampires?
Right?
Like, I feel like that's the least.
The weird
Yeah.
weird thing. Unacceptable. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, I would like to think that it's accepted in the wizarding world.
I would think so, too.
But they're very racist, so...
Maybe it's just like the muggle world.
Some people are cool with it. Some...
Yeah. Certain areas, yo, go for it. Everyone's cool with it. Then you have, you know, those people. They're just kind of a little niche. Like, Umbridge. I'm sure Umbridge wouldn't want it.
Probably not. But Umbridge hates everything.
Exactly. I feel like it's...
No, I don't think we're going to bring that up because I feel like we could get into spoilery territory with that. So I think we'll hold off.
What could we
that.
bring up? Spoilers? What
No,
spoilers?
No.
Huh?
Like, they are so concerned about half-bloods and werewolves. Yeah, they seem to be way more worried about half-bloods and werewolves than
who you decide you want to kiss.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like they don't really give a shit if you're gay or not. But are you a gay werewolf? Or a gay
Gay Dementor.
Whoa, gay Dementors.
Mm-hmm. Watch out, Lucius.
Or are you a gay half-blood? You know, those kinds of things. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they don't care about that kind of stuff.
I mean, it's never brought up, so I guess it's all just...
I feel like it would have been more of a thing. Maybe if the books were written now, maybe there would have been openly gay characters in the books. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. Or maybe she didn't have
Some
to...
of that fan fiction could have came true.
I mean, there's plenty of Harry Draco
Exactly. What a twist.
action going on in the world of fan fiction.
The only reason I was ever mean to you, Harry, was because I love you.
The only reason I've ever been mean to you, Potter, is because I just wanted to play with your wand and snitches.
Can you sneak out my snitch?
Can you seek out my snitch?
I feel like we've talked about Seekers a lot, too. Because
Yes.
Regulus was a seeker too.
Yes, he was. And that really like had an impact on Harry.
Mm-hmm. But that complicates things with the snitch. It's like, where are you trying to go with the snitch now? Everyone's a seeker. How many seekers do you need?
Isn't everyone in life a seeker?
dad
of
was.
something?
Regulus was.
No, actually, James was not a seeker.
He wasn't?
That's a thing. I saw that and I wanted to correct that because I think I said it in one of the videos when you asked me what position he played. He actually didn't play seeker. The movie got it wrong.
Oh.
They put it seeker on the plaque.
Yeah.
He was actually a chaser.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. My whole point is mute now. Carry on.
I forgot where I was going. Harry and Draco smut. I was just making bad
Yeah.
wizard sex puns. Do you think Harry is the seeker or the chaser for Draco and Harry?
Oh.
So who goes into the cave looking for Horcruxes?
Who, oh, God. Who drinks the potion?
Yeah, who drinks the potion?
Oh, man, I feel like Draco.
Yeah, you feel like Harry is the spelunker,
Yes.
the cave searcher.
Yeah.
Harry has to be the seeker. He just said it. Well, if it ever happened, I'm sure Moaning Myrtle probably knows about it. Because there's no way she would miss out on seeing that shit go down.
Oh, no. God, no.
Who's got the bigger wand? Maybe they should let Mr. Ollivander test them out and he can tell them.
Well, don't they tell us Harry's wand is like a 10-inch wand?
10 3/4 or something. Yeah. Draco is a total bottom. Harry is the chosen one. What about the also popular Sirius and Lupin?
Ooh.
That is also a very popular one. Sirius and Lupin. They call that Wolf Star.
Wolf Star?
Yeah.
Why Wolf Star?
Because the ships, they always like push the names together. So like Harry and Draco is Drary.
Mm.
Hermione and Draco is Dramini.
I feel like it could be more creative. But
anyways, so they call that one Wolf Star. How do you feel about Sirius and Lupin?
As much as it pains me to admit it, Snape is probably the top.
Sirius and Lupin? I didn't say Snape. I didn't bring up Snape.
Oh, serious? Oh, I thought you said Snape.
No.
I'm thinking back to the
Snap and Lupin story.
Yeah.
Oh, Snape and Lupin? Are you kidding me? Snape is totally the top. It's no question. That's a given.
Yeah, that pains me. But anyways, as long as Lupin's happy, that's all that matters. God, Sirius and Lupin though.
Shannon prefers Sirius and Snape together.
Sirius and Snape. Ooh.
That would be a very aggressive relationship. Lupin gives Snape a little bite. Well, Dobby was filming it, right? He would know.
Oh, poor Dobby.
I still think Sirius would be the top. I think Lupin is always the bottom in every relationship he's in.
Even with Tonks?
Yeah. I think so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Tonks totally dominates him. She initiates every time. She just jumps on him whenever she wants, to go for I was trying to think of a werewolf sex pun and I couldn't think of one. I just got stuck. I don't know. Somebody said, "Oh, Sirius and Snape hate fucking galore." That's what I mean. We just angry sex all the time. Just wanted to say I'm not caught up with the series and don't want to remember things or anything, so I'm not gonna say, but appreciate you guys so much. She makes him howl. Oh, there you go. That was good on the spot. That was a good one. Lupin goes to nibble on the swan. Nibble on the. Tonks can change her appearance at will. I'm sure Lupin is a happy man.
That's true.
It's true. That is the advantage of being with Tonks.
Lupin never has to choose.
Nope.
It's like being with Mystique.
Yeah. Yeah. Would you do it with Mystique?
Yeah, why not?
Even being like blue and everything?
Oh. Yeah.
Right? I would try that. When she's all blue and stuff. I don't know, give it a shot. It's different. It's kind of funky and weird. I don't know. What's that like?
Exactly. What? Worst case scenario, like you get halfway through and you're like, yeah, actually, you mind? I have this one.
It would be a little weird though if you were like making out with her, fucking her, and she just like kept changing over and over, like every couple of minutes, like that would just be jarring, wouldn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm just saying. Scratching her butt. What's a Lupin's kink? Scratching or biting? What if Lupin?
No, actually, go ahead.
No,
I gotta rethink this. So I was like, that part actually didn't make sense. Never mind.
What's Lupin's kink? Oh, wait. Maybe he likes feet.
Maybe.
Somebody's got to have a foot thing. There's so many characters. The odds are somebody has a foot thing.
Maybe it involves peanut butter and calling him a good boy.
Wouldn't that be more of a serious? That strikes me more as a serious kind of thing.
Yeah, probably.
That's Sirius's kink.
That's a Sirius and Snape thing. Who's a good boy? Sit. Roll over. Stay. Come.
No biting.
Don't make me get the water bottle.
Fetch. Do you want to go for walkies?
He just got excited when you said walkies.
Oh, whoops. No, Bailey, stop. Maybe Snape has a foot thing. I imagine he has particular tastes. No, I will not accept Snape having a foot thing. No, I can't. I'll accept that he probably likes some things that are a little bit different, but I can't accept feet. Not for Snape. I cannot.
And no, we don't have any other scheduled live streams currently.
No, we don't. We try to do it every 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So potentially 2 weeks from... So potentially, not this Saturday, but next Saturday.
We have been talking about doing other live streams, but we have to wait for this lady to finish up her semester.
Once this
when we have more
yeah.
time.
Once the semester is over, we can live stream more for sure. 5 weeks.
And
5
do
weeks
some
away.
other different things.
Yeah.
Because one of the things we did talk about a while ago was like board games and that sort of thing. When
Yeah.
we're talking about Cards Against Muggles, which still hasn't gotten here, so I'm pretty sure we need to order from someone else. Find it somewhere
Yeah,
else.
I think I'm gonna have to reorder Cards Against Muggles because it never showed up. Right? Next month and the semester is over and we can just fucking relax for 5 minutes. That'd be nice. How much longer are you live streaming for? I don't know. We're just kind of going with it at the moment. Yeah, I know. Not too much longer. Almost done. Almost. Yeah, I already paid for Cards Against Muggles, and apparently it shipped, but I still haven't gotten it yet. So
Gonna have to get the refund and
order someplace else.
look somewhere else.
Oh well, tomorrow is your birthday. Happy birthday!
Happy early birthday!
All right, nice. That's so it's literally halfway. 11 days before my birthday.
Oh hey,
Yeah. So our birthdays are actually pretty close. Oh my god, in 11 days I'm going to be 30. Oh my god.
dirty 30.
You would know.
I'll be there soon enough.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know if it got lost in the mail because of
Everything that was going on with the mail system.
yes, all the bullshit going on with the mail. Yeah, but I ordered this way before all the mail-in ballot stuff.
Not really. It
started.
was like the end of September. So there was a bunch of
Yeah,
issues
that's-
going on.
That's true. I did order it right around when all the bullshit started happening.
And then it's going to get here in 2 weeks. And then, oh, it's been delayed for 3 weeks.
And then it just never came.
Yeah.
I was going to make another joke, but
Where did you order it from?
Amazon.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's why it's like
I thought you ordered it from like some
No, I
other
ordered it.
company.
No, I ordered it from
Oh.
Amazon. Well, a shop on Amazon. Like,
Ah,
you know what
gotcha.
I mean?
Yeah.
Third party, whatever. No, I don't feel old. I was just kidding. But thank you guys. Age is just a number.
I wouldn't say anything because the last time I brought up age on here, it's turned into a thing.
Yeah, don't go there. Age is just a number.
I just
though.
said that someone may be middle aged. That's all.
I mean, Biggs is the youngest person I've ever dated, so he's kind of
I'll be 19 next year.
he is by far the youngest.
That's a
person
joke, by
I've
the
ever-
way. I'm much older.
Yeah. No. You being the exception, I tend to date men who are quite a bit older than me. So I don't care about age. It's just a thing.
Age is just a number.
It is just a number.
And prison's just a room.
Age is just a number as long as you're legal. Clarify. I think Katie just called you my boy toy.
That's funny because that's not the first time I've been called that.
By me?
Yeah.
Oh. Hey,
Who was? Someone else did.
Yeah, maybe somebody else did.
Not on the stream. Was it Kayla?
Might have been Kayla.
I think so. But yep, that's pretty much all I am. Just the boy toy. Ooh, sorry, Bailey.
I decided to go in the opposite direction this time, you know.
How's that working out for you?
Yeah, it's all right.
Yes, better than I was expecting.
How How long have you two been together, if that's not too personal?
Actually, just ended up being 4 years a couple weeks ago.
That's right. This month marks 4 years.
Yep. God, it's been a while.
It has been a long time. A hot minute.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Will we make
And
it to 5? Who knows?
Subscribe to find out.
Keep tuning in. Like, comment, and subscribe to see if our relationship lasts another year.
Or will Lextron have enough with me, and will I survive to see my 30th birthday?
Time will tell.
Tune in to 60 Minutes to find out about that.
Will Biggs make it to 30, or will Nagini get a super big Christmas dinner? Don't. No, just leave her alone. You're not doing that. You don't need to do that.
Why are you stirring up trouble now? She's been good.
Sorry, talking to the animals.
Also, I know I pointed it out at the beginning, but just for anyone who wasn't here, I'd just like to give another shout out to Millennial for these awesome
Oh,
bookmarks
yes, hang on. Let me show off mine.
that they
Yes,
sent
yeah.
us.
We got, there we go. Yeah. Aren't these pretty? One for Slytherin, one for Gryffindor.
They're awesome. I love it.
Yeah, they're really pretty. So I don't think Mo actually made it to the stream today. So
I don't believe so, but I had to give another shout out because these are just so awesome.
oh, absolutely. So whenever you watch this, Mo, thank you. What's our secondary house? Mine is Ravenclaw.
I don't remember because when I took the test, I was so much a Gryffindor that everything else was like single digit percentage.
I don't remember what yours was either.
I think I posted on Discord. I have to go through the Discord and find it.
Mine's Ravenclaw. I do remember that. That's my secondary.
I want to say mine was Ravenclaw, but
We will all make it past Game of Thrones, or will we meet an unhappy ending? Well, listen, I'm watching Vikings, and I hope the ending of that show isn't disappointing.
yeah, me too.
Because I'm getting into it. And I would really not I'd like to not be disappointed by Vikings.
Oh no, it wasn't. Okay, so I was 83% Gryffindor, and then 22% Hufflepuff.
Hufflepuff. Ah, you're a secondary Hufflepuff.
I am a secondary Hufflepuff.
Nice. Good for you.
I'm brave, full of myself, but I'm friendly.
So that makes me what?
Narcissistic but brilliant.
I'll take it.
You're like Ivar the Boneless from Vikings.
He's still a child. I can't make those. I can't agree with you on that.
Okay.
No, I can't agree with you on that.
Okay.
Give me a different character that I'm more familiar with.
Oh, I feel like that's the best one though.
Wow. You're telling me I am most like the character that you hate more than everyone.
I'm saying you're what
Okay.
I appreciate about the character.
Oh, okay. I'm Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, and I'm surprised I'm not school smart or banana intelligent, but I do like to read. Thirst for knowledge is a Ravenclaw thing.
Exactly. And I mean, I've met a lot of brilliant people who aren't book smart. So
Same. Book smart doesn't mean you're.
plenty of people that are just like street smart.
Yeah, there's plenty of different kinds of intelligence.
Just like I've met a lot of people who are extremely book smart but lack all common sense.
Yep. Hufflepuff first, Ravenclaw second. We have a lot of Hufflepuffs on our channel, actually.
I know there was a point where I
Hmm.
felt like everything was Ravenclaw, and then Hufflepuffs just
Hufflepuffs took over.
stormed the gates.
And of course, me and just a couple of other Slytherins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Slytherin's a rare house.
Slytherin is a rare house. We only
Well.
take the best, that's why. Can't just have everyone up in here being a Slytherin. Come on now.
Okay.
Hufflepuffs for the win. What was it? There was a Four Houses meme, and they were like, "How we decided to pick the kids?" And Gryffindor was like, "I want the brave kids." And then Ravenclaw was like, "I want the smart kids." Slytherin was like, "I want the evil kids." And Hufflepuff was like, "I'll just take everybody else.
I'll just take the kids.
I'll just take who you guys don't want. It's all good."
Which is why you gotta respect them.
Although I will say, maybe this is a spoiler. Maybe I shouldn't bring this up. This is kind of a spoiler. All right, never mind. I'll hold off. I'll wait.
Wow, way to
Dangle
build
a carrot in front of your face. Yeah, sorry.
Okay. So what were you gonna say?
That is pretty much what the Sorting Hat was. Were the kids that were picked last in dodgeball, the Hufflepuffs.
Oh, ouch.
I would like to be in Gryffindor, but also Slytherin when Snape is head of
Well-
house, so I could get away with anything. Do I want to say why I would want to be in Slytherin house during that time period?
We'll just say that you also would want Snape as your headmaster. Well, not headmaster, but head of house.
I would love it beyond anything imaginable.
Anyways. Yeah, I don't. I'm trying to think. I mean, we've talked about how Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff are underrepresented.
Underrepresented in the books.
Yeah, underrepresented in the books. But I feel like Ravenclaw really is.
More than Hufflepuff?
Yeah, I feel like.
I'm gonna hold off any comment
'Cause
until we finish this book.
We still hear about the Hufflepuffs kind of like we know Sprout is the
Head of house.
head of house.
Mhm.
I don't know who the Ravenclaw's head of house is.
Professor Flitwick.
He is?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
See, I didn't remember that though. They never bring it up.
And Anthony Goldstein, the Jewish kid, is a prefect of, I think, or no, he was in the DA or something. He's a Ravenclaw. Terry Boot.
Yeah.
Cho Chang.
See how that turned out.
Yeah. But Hufflepuffs did get Cedric.
That's true. Their one chance.
And how did they get rewarded? A Slytherin killed his ass. That's what happened.
Yep.
Well,
The Slytherin.
the Slytherin ordered him to be killed. Wormtail actually did it.
That's true.
So technically, I guess
So
Gryffindor
Gryffindor
killed
did.
him. Oh, that's true. Luna's a Ravenclaw.
Oh yeah, she
So
is.
there you go.
Okay. She's like so entwined in that group. I always think of her as a Gryffindor.
Yeah.
And the lion helps.
Yeah, the lion head thing. Yeah, you're right. I corrected myself. Wormtail killed him. And we got Tonks. Hufflepuff, right? Yeah, Tonks, right?
Was Tonks a Hufflepuff?
Is that right? Hang on. Yeah, Tonks is a Hufflepuff.
Oh,
So there you go.
I could see that. She's the super friendly extrovert.
We have Slughorn. What now?
You're one redeeming.
We have
person.
Snape. We have Draco Malfoy.
We're
Lucius
talking about
Malfoy.
redeeming.
Bellatrix
people.
Lestrange.
Redeeming.
Intriguing. We got Lord Voldemort, okay? Come on, you guys.
Yeah, well, we have Dumbledore and McGonagall. And Harry Potter. And Ron Weasley. That's about it. Well, Hagrid was a Gryffindor too, wasn't he? What was Hagrid?
I think Hagrid was a Gryffindor.
Yeah. I feel like he had to be. I couldn't picture him in any other house. He's definitely not a Ravenclaw.
Mm-mm.
Although he is pretty brilliant when it comes to
Animals.
animals.
Yeah. And he's very curious about
Yeah.
different ones. One reason I dislike the movies is because of how they handle Tonks. Yeah, Tonks is just a non-existent character in the films.
Was she even in the 6th movie?
Yeah, remember when the burrow was fucking lit on fire? Bullshit. Never happened.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. I'm still upset about that. And then she goes, "Sweetheart, let's go." That's it. That's all you get.
One line. That's all she gets.
Well, Katie brings up a good point. The books are from Harry's perspective, so he hangs out with all the Gryffindors, so that's all you're going to know.
That's true.
Right? There's plenty of awesome Slytherins. Y'all just don't know them.
Well, neither do you.
I'm just saying, I have to advocate because all we ever hear about is Draco Malfoy and Crabbe and Goyle, and Pansy Parkinson. She's a disgrace to the House of Slytherin.
Is she, though?
Yes, she is.
Okay.
She's a sycophantic, pug-faced dirtball.
Jealous?
No. Oh, wait. Talk about... Okay, we got Regulus Black.
All right, fair enough.
Come on now. We aren't all stinkers.
Okay, fair enough. You got me there. Regulus was a good dude.
And Harry is extremely biased when it comes to the Slytherins.
That's very true. Even though Harry was originally supposed to go to the Slytherins, if the sorting had anything to say about it.
Harry is programmed to be prejudiced against the Slytherins as soon as he gets to school. He doesn't even have a chance to think otherwise about Slytherin because the first thing he hears about Slytherin is what fucking Hagrid says about Slytherin. Or a witch or wizard who went bad who weren't in Slytherin. Thanks, Hagrid. You biased fuck.
Look, Hagrid may...
Hagrid is
slip,
biased. That's
but
what
he's
it is.
honest.
Is he though? Come on.
Mm-hmm.
That was...
Hagrid can't lie. We've learned that.
Katie just made my point. If Hagrid hadn't said that shit, maybe Harry would have been in Slytherin.
That's very possible. I'm going to say Draco Malfoy probably didn't do anything to help sway him, though.
No, Draco Malfoy definitely didn't help.
Exactly.
No. Uh-oh. Is my mom here to do laundry? Can you go get the comforter out of the washer?
Oh
I don't think I took it out.
Yeah.
Please. Thank you. Just because you're closer to the door. Sorry, I'll be right back. Life happened. Stuff.
Please continue.
Anyway. Yeah, there's some serious bias that goes on with the Slytherins. That's why I always have to have house pride, because there's some serious bias that goes on in these books. Granted, yes, Lucius Malfoy, Bellatrix, Lord Voldemort, we're not all terrible. But yeah. We get a bad rap, I think. There's a lot of bias happening. Because, the Gryffindors aren't always all saints. Fred and George have probably almost killed people multiple times. I mean, they shoved Montague in that vanishing cabinet. The dude almost died. They gave Katie Bell that nosebleed nougat. She could have bled out. I'm just saying, they're not all... And, Peter Pettigrew, he was a Gryffindor. Yeah, you do. If it's a fantasy, you have to have the good guys and the bad guys, right? And you have to have the one faction against the other one. Is what it is. And I go to saying before with the Death Eaters, like, a lot of their kids are now at school and they've all been indoctrinated into this thing. So it's... How did it go?
Good. I threw it in the drawer.
Was she salty?
I don't know.
Was she there?
No.
Oh.
So she might have came, saw that there's still laundry in there, and like walked away.
Maybe
To wait.
salty.
Maybe.
Ooh.
So what are we talking about?
We're still talking about Slytherins and Gryffindors. The founder of Slytherin made a point back in the day. He was seeing Muggles killing wizards, so him not wanting Muggles at the school. So I understand that point. Yeah, I
will concede on that. He grew up in a time when
Muggles
weren't exactly cool with wizards.
Yeah. Oh, someone woke up from her nap. Hello, lovely baby. Do you need to go? Go give her a call. We can wait. I think we're good. I think we should be all right. Hello, lovely girl. Hello, pretty baby. No, let me go.
So as I was walking out there, I thought of something that happened in this chapter that we didn't talk about. I think needs to be addressed. The whole Christmas Carol scene when you walk into the house for the first time. You hear Moody's voice, and then
the ghost
of Dumbledore past shows up.
Yeah. It's a heavy Dickens influence there for sure. I feel like there's
Severus Snape.
I think there's some heavy...
You've killed me.
Dickens influence anyway. Not all the Death Eaters were from Britain. Karkaroff was from abroad.
That is true. Well, Durmstrang was known to still teach the dark arts.
Yep.
So that's not surprising that more would come from there.
I mean, Grindelwald got kicked out, right? Did they say that or something? Or Grindelwald went to school there.
Yeah, and he carved the eye.
And he carved the eye thing. Yeah, that's what Crumb said. My goodness, you. But yeah, the point is not everyone is purely good or bad or whatever else. I mean, look, you've got Regulus Black. We've got Regulus Black. You've got Peter Pettigrew.
Well, I think that's a main theme with the whole story too. It's that Harry originally was supposed to go to Slytherin, but he chose to go to Gryffindor. No one is inherently good or evil. It's a choice.
Right.
And our actions.
Right. You'd think they wouldn't be able to do certain jobs, one of them being teaching. Yeah, but yeah, Durmstrang allows them to teach the dark arts, so I'm not surprised that they would hire a Death Eater as a teacher. I mean, Dumbledore hired a Death Eater as a teacher.
That's true.
So, what do you think, Connie?
She's being good.
She didn't like that patronizing tone you just took with her.
But yeah, I feel like Durmstrang, they would welcome the Death Eaters.
Yeah.
Teach us your ways.
Yeah. Teach us how you guys do bad magic in Britain.
Trying to think what else.
Like I said, I feel fucking terrible for Creature.
Yeah.
Now you understand why he is the way he is.
Yeah.
You get it now, right?
That potion messes you up.
Yeah.
Still want to know what it is.
Right? I don't think you'll ever find out what it is, but you might get a little more insight later on.
I'm trying to remember what Dumbledore says when he drinks it. Like,
kill me.
Well, yeah, but he talks about the kids and stuff like that. Like, does that pertain to his brother and sister? Or his sister?
Oh, what he says in the cave?
Yeah.
He said, it's all my fault, or whatever.
Mhm.
It's all my fault, it's all my fault. Maybe it does. Maybe it has something to do with his quickly becoming more murky family life. And why didn't he tell Harry about Godric's Hollow and all of that?
Maybe he just didn't think it was important.
No. Shannon appreciates that Connie climbed all over us in the video.
Oh, well, that's good.
She is cute. She is very cute. I love her so much. So glad we rescued her.
Mm-hmm. She's a little ball of energy, though.
Yeah, she is. She's kind
Makes
of
filming hard.
She is a little bit of a handful. Where'd she go?
She's over by the door.
Oh, okay. She's the only animal in here right now, isn't she?
Mm-hmm. Bailey
So
left with me.
Yeah.
So, we've been talking about this, but what's the next chapter called?
Oh, sure. The next chapter is called Man, that is an interesting
The Wizards Who
pictures.
Stare at Goats.
The next chapter is called The Bribe.
The Bribe, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Who's bribing who?
I don't know.
Well, probably Mundungus.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to bribe him. Yeah, because I know I've talked about Harry feeling like it's time to use a Cruciatus curse on him, but I don't think Harry would. So he's probably gonna have to find another way to get the locket from Mundungus.
I'll have to see. Interesting, though.
Mm-hmm.
Not a bad idea. As to where you think that's going to play out. Can we go back to the Harry birthday thing? Was it just me, or was the bit with Ginny and Harry a bit saucy, shall we say?
Oh, yes.
It was very saucy. You are not looking too much into it.
I think it would have gone full marinade had Ron and Hermione not come in.
I know. It was going places. Yes, Ron did stop
in her very small, cute room.
Yes.
The first time he's been in her room, actually.
Yeah, first time alone in Ginny's room. You know what she wanted to give him for his 17th birthday. Come on, she was like, I couldn't think of what to get you. Yeah, we know what you wanted to give him.
Mm-hmm. But Ron
But Ron.
always. I mean, at least he walked in then.
And not like 10 minutes later.
Yeah.
That's true. Should have locked the door, right? What the fuck's wrong with them? Always lock the door.
I mean, Aloha Mora, so.
True.
And I feel like Ron probably would have freaked out anyways. The door's locked.
That's true. He'd be like, Harry's in there. Why is the door locked? What's happening? What are you doing?
All of a sudden, wait, why can't I hear anything? Muffly Ardoden.
Oh, Ron. Always cock blocking. Did it with Cho.
Yeah, now that you say it, he is an awful wingman.
He
He has
did.
been an awful friend when it comes to that.
Harry's trying to get some. It's terrible. He's not very good at getting himself though either. He's pretty oblivious.
No, he has that book now. All right,
It's not all about wand work.
He's killing it.
He's killing it.
I mean, look at him and Hermione. It's going places.
It is going places with Hermione, isn't
Mhm.
it? Ron is doing the magic, shall we say. I love your readings, but I miss when Biggs in the beginning would just interrupt to talk about certain parts right as it's happening. That way nothing is missed. I think someone else has mentioned that before. That they like the more organic feeling of the reading.
I mean, that's something we can do. I don't know.
It'd be great on
Yeah.
live streams, but maybe it wouldn't work.
That's what I mean. Like live streams, I feel like it would work, but maybe there should be a book we just read on live stream, and I could do that. I kind of we switched it up just because some people just like listening to the audio. They're like,
Yeah.
I don't really care about the discussion. I just want to hear the chapter. So it makes it easier for them in that regard.
Yep.
And then people have said they miss it, but at the same time, we don't want to just jump back and forth between it either, because then it's even more annoying. So I think we're going to keep it this way until the end of Harry Potter, at least, and then we can look back at that
Right, or
for the next book, Game of Thrones or something.
yeah, maybe change it up a little bit or do
Mhm.
something differently. But we definitely appreciate everyone's input.
For live streams, we could definitely do it. I could
It's
just
easier.
kind of edit it out and make a clean audio version, though.
Yeah, for people who just want to listen to the
Mhm.
story. Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, that's definitely a thing. Maybe next live stream we'll do that.
We have to finish that book on Norse mythology too.
Oh yes, I forgot about that.
Yeah, we put up like 2 stories and then
Mhm.
just kind of never happened.
Especially now that I'm so much back into it.
I know, and now I'm into it. I'm like, Norse mythology, Vikings,
Norse
rah,
Vikings, and the new Assassin's Creed just came out on playing
Valhalla. Yeah,
Vikings. Can't escape it.
I know. What do you think I'm going to do after we're done live streaming?
Go watch Vikings.
Yes,
And I'm probably gonna go play Assassin's Creed. So
we're all about the Norsemen over here. at
well,
this
until
house
the
these
video
days.
finishes rendering them and
edit
edit
the
it.
audio. Who is scratching out there so much? Do you hear that?
Yes, I don't know. Someone who doesn't know how to cover with cat litter.
Like Jackson, seriously? Or is that Lola? I don't know. This book
Well,
is
I
definitely
am
not
happy
for
that you were happy.
No, I don't think this book is for kids. Not for little kids. I think this is a very adult themed book.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially this one. I think all the other ones you could get away with saying it was a kid's book, but
Even the last one was pretty adult.
yeah.
But it
Didn't
still
they,
had
didn't
the-
they drop a slut bomb in there?
They did.
Yeah.
There's this yeah. And the orgy joke.
Oh yeah. Well, that's not really adult. I mean, it is, but it's like SpongeBob, where they throw in those little subtle jokes.
That's true.
So when the parents are watching the show or reading
They
the
can
book,
laugh,
like,
yeah.
Why are you laughing, mommy? Give it 10 more years, you'll get it. What?
I'm just kind of wondering what's going to happen next in Vikings.
Oh my god.
Lagatha's wounded. Ragnar is
I can't even tell you because
still, I think, withdrawing from his issues that he was having. Rollo is reveling in his success. King Eckbert is... That's what I mean. Seriously, they're still doing it. What is happening?
have any of you guys watched Vikings, or what shows you guys are watching right now?
Love a good Uranus joke. Took me forever to... Lavender, can I see Uranus? Oh, Pixar movies are full of stuff for parents. Absolutely.
Oh yeah. Or what was the question you had when we were watching Toy Story? Where's Andy's dad?
Where's Andy's dad? I want to know. He lives in that house with his mom. It's a nice house. She's a single mom. It seems like kind of a nice house for a single mom, unless she's got like a really good job. And he's got the sister.
She
Molly,
had
the sister.
just had Molly.
Does Molly have the same dad?
Maybe not. Maybe they're adopted.
Disney movies never have two parents.
I know, that's weird.
Moana does. Rapunzel does.
Well, yeah.
It just took her a long time to find them. But
she's two parents, one evil stepmother.
yeah. Yeah, rarely. Or they start out with two parents and one dies, or both of them die, or...
And it's usually the mother. Disney hates mothers.
I don't know. The single most traumatizing death for everybody was the death of Mufasa.
Yes, that's true. It was awful. But if we're going quantity, not quality of the death.
Moms.
Yes, moms. All the moms die.
To get back to the Uranus joke real quick, Ron totally saw Lavender's Uranus.
Oh, he's
explored every facet of it.
He's explored everything. He's probably tasted everything. It's
yeah.
The way they were on it was disgusting. Disgusting.
Sound like a plunger being pulled out of the tree. Oh, Bambi. Yeah, that Bambi's mom. Yeah, that shit was awful. And then you have Lilo and Stitch, where the sister is raising Lilo.
Both the parents are dead.
Both the parents are dead. Elsa and Anna, both the parents die. Mufasa dies. Ariel's mom is dead.
Belle's mom is dead.
Oh! Sleeping Beauty, both her parents are alive.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
There you go. All right. Sleeping Beauty. So you got Sleeping Beauty, Rapunzel, or Tangled, I mean, Moana, Zootopia. Judy Hopps has fucking huge family.
That's true.
They're just a little bit racist. That's all. That's all.
Darn foxes.
Darn foxes. Predators. It's in their biology.
Okay, so I guess there is a few. Although with Cinderella and Tangled, or not Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, they both go and are raised in the forest with
Other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Dumbo, he gets taken away from his mom. No dad.
hmm
Snow White, who the fuck knows what happened to her parents? Being raised by her stepmom.
So really,
Jungle Boy, Mowgli's an orphan. Robin Hood's an adult. That doesn't count.
it's like either your parents die in a Disney movie or they're crap. I mean, I guess Rapunzel's parents weren't technically crap, but
Yeah,
they let her get abducted. So,
They did let her get abducted. That's true.
and I want to know that heist story. How did she do that alone?
Right. How did she sneak into Corona, into the king and queen's fucking bedroom?
Steal the child and then escape
The city.
scot-free.
I know Flynn Rider barely got away.
Maybe
With help.
maybe they increased security after, their child was stolen.
Maybe they didn't have Maximus, and that was the problem.
Maybe.
They needed Maximus.
Maybe.
They're all just incompetent hacks without Maximus around.
God, I'm thinking we were talking about live streaming some games. We need to play Villainous and live stream that.
Right? Yeah.
That
we
would be
should play
awesome.
that. We should play that. Sounds like fun. Hercules. He has loving parents. 2 sets of loving parents. He has his mortal mom and dad.
Yeah.
And then he has his godparents. His real parents.
All right. So it is possible to have loving parents
In a Disney movie.
In a Disney movie, you just have to literally be a god.
Right. Or a princess.
Yeah.
I mean, Moana's parents really love her. Misguided a little bit, maybe, but they love her.
Yeah.
Judy Hopps' parents love her.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of ignorant, but they love her.
Yes.
I'm like trying to think of them all now. It's like a thing now. I'm trying to.
I
What
know
about
Bailey wants to
Tarzan?
come in, but Connie's right there. It's gonna be a thing.
I would say, yeah, Tarzan has his gorilla parents. But Kerjak doesn't like him, and his real parents were fucking murdered and eaten.
Yeah.
So there is tragedy there.
And also, Frozen 2 ruined the whole theory that Tarzan was Elsa and Anna's brother.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
I didn't appreciate that.
Oh, you liked that idea?
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, Frozen 2 definitely killed that, didn't it? Hey, Dory in Finding Nemo has loving parents. Or I mean, Finding Dory, not Finding Nemo.
But dead.
They're not dead. They find her at the end of the movie.
They do?
Yeah, they're at the end of the movie. She finds them.
Oh.
They waited for her for like years.
I
But
forgot.
again, it's another situation of like they lost her.
Yep.
She got lost. I liked Frozen 2 quite a lot. I thought it was good. I actually really did enjoy Frozen 2.
I just like Olaf. That's it.
You liked Lost in the Woods.
That was pretty good too, yeah.
It's a good song.
It was.
And I liked Frozen. I thought Frozen was good. I'm trying to think if there's a Disney movie that I saw that I didn't really like. I really, really did like Zootopia a lot.
It was good.
Zootopia was awesome. Moana was good. I fucking cried when I watched Moana. Okay, so, I like the reindeer. Sven. The reindeer's name is Sven.
Just wait until Disney buys out Warner Brothers.
They'll do
Get Harry Potter 3D.
Oh, God. Can't stand Let It Go anymore, so I can't bring myself to watch the movie.
Hermione's gonna be a Disney princess.
No. We don't have a choice. We have to watch Frozen
Mm-hmm.
periodically. We don't have to watch it all the time.
Yeah.
But we do have to watch it. At least now we can switch it up and we can watch 2.
Last weekend it was Toy Story.
God.
We had to watch all the Toy Stories.
Yes, we had to watch every single Toy Story.
It was a rainy day, so we couldn't go outside and it was cold out, so we just stayed in and watched movies. All the Toy Stories, all the like little shorts they have on Disney Plus,
Yep.
everything.
I hadn't seen the 4th one though, so I got to watch the 4th Toy Story.
Oh yeah.
It was way better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Won't say how it ends, just in case no one saw it.
I just want to finish Vikings. I'm just like, I don't care. I want to finish Vikings, and I gotta watch The Mandalorian too. I gotta get through season 2 of The Mandalorian.
You'll get there.
Oh, she didn't like the ending of the 4th one. My son doesn't know about the movie yet. Keeping it away as long as possible.
Ah, good move.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. We can only control what we show Ramona. We can't control what her father shows her. So,
And worst part is she's learned how to use
the controller and
the
stuff.
Xbox. So she finds stuff on her own.
Personally, I think Disney has really messed up Star Wars.
Yeah, the new Star Wars, I definitely agree. The Mandalorian is the one good thing. I haven't watched The Mandalorian yet. I have had no desire to, but I've heard nothing but good things about it, so
Mandalorian
it must be good.
I've been of the opinion that Star Wars was pretty terrible with the new prequel movies. Attack of the Clones, etc., etc. Like, but there's like something, those movies in some ways are like so bad they're good.
Yeah.
So I have a little bit of appreciation for like,
except the Phantom Menace. It's like watching C-SPAN.
that's the one I'd rather watch out of all 3 of them, is that one.
No.
It's so terrible.
The entire movie is like watching C-SPAN. It's a political congregation, and then you get like one cool action scene with Darth Maul at the end.
Arguably like the best fight scene in all of Star Wars.
I agree, but it's a
Either way,
it's a 10-minute fight scene.
watched The Last Jedi, and then the fuck was the other one? I can't even remember the names of them. I watched the first 2. I didn't watch The Rise of Skywalker.
The Force Awakens.
That's right. The Force Awakens. And then the last
Jedi.
And then the last one is The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah,
right?
The Rise of Skywalker.
So we didn't see The Rise of Skywalker. I really enjoyed The Mandalorian. I think it's really good because I completely swore off Star Wars after The Last Jedi because I thought that movie sucked.
Again, I thought there were some cool moments in it. It just didn't come together.
No.
Like the fight scene on the planet with like the red sand under the snow. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, that was cool.
All that was awesome.
Yeah, visually very striking. Absolutely.
More the story. Like they did a very good job with all the action and stuff.
Yeah, the story didn't really hold water for me. But that being said, I gave The Mandalorian a shot, and I really enjoy it.
And Ramona loves Baby Yoda, the child.
God,
we can't show her the show, but she's obsessed with Baby Yoda.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, she can't watch the show at all, but she loves Baby Yoda. So we have lots of Baby Yoda happening in our house without her ever having watched the show.
Mm-hmm. She's just like, oh, he's a cute looking thing.
Yep, he's a cute thing. So she wants all Baby Yoda things in her life. The Mandalorian in some ways actually kind of reminds me of Firefly a little bit.
Oh, total a space western.
It's a
Yeah.
it's a space western. It definitely has some
It's what
Firefly feeling to it.
They basically said, "Hey, I really like Firefly. Let's make it, but this time with money."
And
And
the
there you go.
full backing that it won't get canceled.
Yes.
Yeah.
I still don't know how they canceled Firefly. It was so good. It was like, I think I said this on the last live stream. Out of all the terrible movies that sci-fi makes, they make a gem and they decide to cancel it.
There are loads of fireworks going off here. Happy Diwali to anyone that celebrates. Oh my god, Diwali! That's the party that Michael Scott goes to in The Office.
Oh,
That Kelly invites them all to Diwali. And there's this song he sings about Diwali. Oh my god. It's time to celebrate Diwali. So let's all come and be jolly. Happy, happy Diwali. It's just like this fucking song he sings. That's so funny. Sorry. I mean,
okay.
I'm sorry. I had an office moment. I'm sorry. It's a great episode.
How excited you got
I
about like,
know.
should we be celebrating?
Diwali. Sorry. Diwali. My apologies.
It's better.
Only thing I know about it is
It was on The
It was on the
Office.
episode. Yeah, I don't know anything else about it. Michael Scott tells his girlfriend it's a costume party. And everybody at the party is like dressed traditionally. And she shows up in a cheerleader costume. Angela like is looking at all the food. And she just looks at the guy and she's like, I'm a vegetarian. And he's like, it's all vegetarian. I'll just have some bread. She's so awful.
I know. With you going vegetarian, you would do well in India.
I know. I'm no longer eating meat, people. Well, happy Diwali, even if you guys can't congregate and celebrate it.
Yes. Happy Diwali.
Yes. But yes, I could definitely get on just fine in India with all the vegetarian food. Oh, she's calm. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
She's being a good girl.
I gotta start learning how to cook more vegetarian dishes.
Mm-hmm. Learn how to make yourself some good tofu.
Mm-hmm. I've never had to cook tofu, so I don't know. All my proteins come from flesh.
You can experiment if you want to this weekend.
I guess so. I don't know what I do though.
I don't know.
But speaking of food, I'm kind of getting hungry.
I want to get her butt.
You can. It's your fingers you're gonna lose.
I want to get her butt. oh, I think we scared her.
You're mean.
I don't know. I was vegetarian for a really long time. I stopped. And I just started cutting meat back out again. Especially after we had that conversation. Remember we had that conversation about food and meat, and it just kind of pushed me back over the edge of I don't want to eat meat anymore. So I'm good. You're just gonna have to learn how to cook vegetarian stuff.
I guess so.
Take some pointers from V.
It's gonna, I don't know, throw some soybeans, some tofu, and kale into a pot and just bam,
Ha, ha,
veggie
ha.
stew.
Ha ha ha. But yeah, speaking of food, I'm getting hungry too.
All right.
And I do need to work on homework.
All right. What time? Holy crap.
It's 4:00.
Yeah, I didn't realize we were streaming that long.
Yeah, it's been almost 4 hours. We have been live.
Time flies.
I know, right? Yeah, it's
Well,
like dinner
wait,
time, isn't
we
it?
just got a big comment.
Manager I used to work with had a hog farm. This brand could easily go meat free. I would imagine that, yeah, location makes it
Yeah.
easier or more difficult to be vegetarian or not.
I mean, we live in a small town, and I can't remember what I was cooking, but a recipe I was making called for shallots. Could not find shallots in any of the stores around us.
Yeah, I remember that.
Mhm.
I remember you saying that, and I was just thinking, what do you mean you couldn't find them? We couldn't find them. We
Yeah.
couldn't find them. Nobody carried them. And it just like,
It's
It
something
just-
as simple as that.
it just struck us both like, what? How does the place not carry shallots? That's a very common ingredient.
Or last weekend I was going to make those spinach puffs, and I couldn't find feta cheese.
Yeah, that one's even weirder. I don't even fucking have feta cheese at the grocery store.
I don't know.
It's feta cheese. It's like very popular cheese.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
So we do understand the struggle of small town living and how it's hard to find the right things.
Yeah,
sometimes.
how living in a smaller area can limit your choices. So we definitely get that for sure. Luckily, though, Walmart carries tofu. Yeah, it's obnoxious. It can be. So we have to modify recipes sometime. We wanted to try to make beef
Either that or-
Wellington. Remember that?
Yep.
Which I still kind of want to try to do. We just have to go to the butcher.
Yeah. But yeah, it's annoying. Sometimes we can't find it. Sometimes we have to jump around to 3 different stores before we find what we're looking for.
How many people live in our town?
I don't know.
Let's just see real quick before we hop off. Oxford, New York. You ready?
That's more than I thought. All right.
20,000 people. 3,900 people live in our town. That's how small our town is. 3,900. Well, actually, let's see. Population. Just Norwich, just because.
We doubled it.
We doubled it. So
Well, not even, but still.
So where we go shopping is a town that's like 10, 15 minutes away from us. 6,600 people. That's the population.
So small
So
town.
pretty small. Yeah. Oh, wow. Katy is densely populated.
Oh, jeez.
Well, that's good. You guys can always find what you... I mean, for the most part, usually we can find what we're looking for, but just...
It's little things like specific things like that.
Like
shallots, feta cheese, you know. For the most part, I can find everything that I'm looking for.
Like if we wanted to buy all the things that we want like all the time, we'd probably have to go to like Wegmans.
Yeah.
So we could definitely go someplace where we could find that stuff, but it's an hour away.
Mm-hmm. There's something else. Oh yeah, like I was looking today. I wanted to make risotto. I couldn't find risotto rice anywhere.
I wonder if they'd have it at Price Chopper.
Maybe. I don't know. But see, that's the thing. We have to go to like 4 different stores, and we didn't have the time to do that.
No, we didn't. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, you have to go to multiple different places to get what you want, get what you need. The struggle of rural living.
Mm-hmm. That's the price you pay.
Yep. For peace and quiet and not being surrounded by people.
Yes.
So it's kind of nice. I like the not being surrounded by people thing.
Exactly. I mean, there's upsides to both.
There are.
It's hard to say which I'd rather. Whether I'd rather live in a densely populated area or a rural area.
There are pros and cons to both.
Mhm.
All right, everybody. Well, I think it's time to eat.
I think so too.
I think it's time we all eat. Let's all
I
eat.
agree.
This was a great live stream. We read some great chapters. Let us celebrate by consuming food.
Had some great stories about goats.
Great goat conversation, investigative investigations into goat situations. It's always good.
Hope you all have a fantastic evening.
Yes, yes. Enjoy the rest of your day or evening, whatever you got going on. And well, thank you for listening and watching and spending time with us. We all appreciate it.
Yes, it's been a great time for us.
Yes. So next upload will be Monday morning. Right?
Yep. Well, tomorrow you're going to get the 2 chapters we read today. So if you're here, just ignore them. It's going to be the same things. Just uploading the audio for anyone who missed.
Monday will be the premiere of chapter 11.
Yes.
So stick with us for that. And yes, have fun, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.